It is week 9 of the high school football season, and is the Weslaco Panthers taking on the Edinburg Bobcats, where it is homecoming at Bobby Lackey Stadium. The girls wearing their mums tonight, guys wearing their garters, and tonight we are going to crown a new king and a new queen right here at homecoming 2018. Hello, everybody. Carlos Robledo along with Mike Gonzalez, and we have a big game on store tonight. The reason why, Mike, because it's getting a little bit cooler. The sun's going down, of course, right in front of us.
Right.
So the days are getting shorter. That means that things are getting a little bit more important at the season as the season continues. Week 9 of the high school football season. Every game from here on out is important, not only for the Bobcats, but also for the Weslaco Panthers.
No question about that, Carlos. We're talking about teams that are perhaps barely alive for the playoffs. It's pretty much win or go home, while you have teams like Edinburg and Weslaco that are actually alive for a district championship. So these games mean a lot. A big game tonight in the next 2 weeks. So, yeah, it's crunch time now, baby.
Yeah, great weather on tap. Of course, we had a cold front that blew through on Monday of earlier this week. It rained. It was cold. The Panthers were out here practicing. The Bobcats, I'm sure, were practicing as well in Edinburg. And the Bobcats, kind of a surprise team, 6-1 on the season so far. This is a team that people weren't sure if they were even going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Carlos. This is a team that's won 6 out of 7, have won 2 out of 3 district games, done a great job. They've overcome some injuries, yet they're right there in the playoff picture and look really, really well and look for a big win tonight against the Weslaco Panthers.
Yeah, the Bobcats have been able to put it together even though they've had some injuries at the quarterback position. And Mike, that has been a factor, but they found a way once again to win 6 games, to be in the thick of the mix here for a playoff spot.
Yes, that quarterback, Carlos, is number 2, Matt Cruz, who just may play tonight, Carlos, but without him, the team has only averaged 18 points per game. Before his injury, the team averaged 36 points per game. So we're talking about a guy, almost 20-point difference. He stretches the defense because for the last few weeks, the Bobcats have pretty much been a run-oriented team. So if Cruz can come back tonight, the Weslaco Panther defense, who's done an outstanding job this year, have a test tonight.
To say the least, they have been running the ball. And let's take a look at some of the top playmakers for the Edinburg Bobcats, because these are the players that have been running with the football, especially Benavides. Erlen Benavides, check that out, Mike. 132 carries on the season with still 3 games to play and 972 yards, 10 touchdowns for him. He is the workhorse for the Edinburg Bobcats. Adrian Garza, he has been getting in on the mix. He's a wide receiver for them, but he's been playing a little bit of wildcat, and he's rushed for 128 yards on 32 carries and 7 receptions. He'll see a lot of playing time tonight, whether he's playing the wildcat or wide receiver.
Absolutely, Carlos. We're talking about Garza, who's listed as a wide receiver, plays a lot at the slot position, but with the absence of Cruz, has seen a lot of action in the wildcat formation. Small but quick, and then Benavides, outstanding year, Carlos, on pace for 1,400 yards, rushed for 1,600 yards last year, 18 touchdowns, school record, and so he hasn't missed a beat in 2018.
Yeah, Benavides was at 132 carries the ball more than anyone else on the Edinburg Bobcats and maybe anyone else across the Rio Grande Valley. All right, let's take a look at the schedule for the Bobcats, because they have had a phenomenal year so far. They started off the season taking on Harlingen South. They win that game 34-21 pretty convincingly for going up against the South Hawks. And Rivera, a win there 44-12. They beat Juarez Lincoln 22-13. A game against Mercedes. Mercedes, a team probably going to end up going to the playoffs as they beat them 45-18. They play against Weslaco East, the sister school of the Panthers. They lost that game. They were shut out 21-0. And then the other 2 games in district, they beat North and they beat, last week in fact, Economidi. They play against Economides. What a barn burner that game was. They win it in the fourth quarter 24-21.
Yeah, Carlos, we're talking about a team that's been battle-tested. They've overcome injuries. They've been in close games. And in fact, Carlos, that first game against Harlingen South, they trailed 14-0 at halftime before scoring 34 points, in the second half to run away with the game. But this is a team, that's been battle-tested. They've overcome a lot of things. So they're not afraid of anybody or anything, Carlos.
Yeah, they've had victories against 6A schools, against a strong 5A school in Mercedes. But the real test for the Edinburg Bobcats will come tonight against Weslaco, and they still have to play Edinburg Villa.
Yeah, because, Carlos, when you look at that schedule, there's probably some people out there like, they haven't played a whole lot of strong teams yet, but you know what? If they can beat this Weslaco Panther team, I think they'll raise some eyebrows.
Yeah, even if they keep it close, because the Weslaco Panthers 2 weeks ago, played a real close game against Edinburg Vela, and they're in the top 10. Now let's talk about that top 10, Mike, because it's the RGV Sports top 10, and let's take a look, because we have both Weslaco schools that are in it. Without a doubt, you got to give Robert Vela High School that #1 ranking, 7-0, and they played against some very competitive teams, so they deserve that ranking. Hannah, 5-1. We knew they were going to be good after what they did last year. Mission Vet, 6-1, looking very, very good. PSJA, the Bears at 5-2. San Benito, also 5-2. Of course, they're going to play Hannah tonight. That's another big game that will be taking place across the Rio Grande Valley. So we'll find out more about 32-6A. And what is happening over there, because the next round of the playoffs, 31-6A plays against 32-6A, so that's going to be interesting. Then you got the two Weslaco schools there. Weslaco High, 6-1 on the season. Weslaco East, 4-2, but they're undefeated in district play. Then you got Brownsville Vets, La Jolla, and Pace. What do you think about that top 10, Mike? Weslaco and Weslaco East, they deserve to be in there. What do you think?
Absolutely, Carlos. I mean, we're talking about a Weslaco Panther team only lost of the year against Edinburg Vela a few weeks ago, 17-7, played them a tough game. So in the standings, they didn't drop too much. I mean, maybe a few spots, but they're right in the middle of it. Weslaco East with 2 losses, had a tough non-district schedule. You got the PSJA Bears, same thing. San Benito played teams outside the valley. Those 3 teams with 2 losses, yet in the top 10. Edinburg, though, 6-1. No respect for them. Not listed in the top 10. So perhaps the voters out there are kind of saying, okay, we need for you to beat a team like Weslaco High to maybe get some votes. And so we'll see.
Yeah, a lot of things will shake out after tonight's game as far as rankings and standings are concerned. In fact, let's take a look at the 32-6A standings, because right now you got Vela High School, #1, sitting pretty. They still have to play against East and Weslaco. Let's not talk too much about Weslaco and Weslaco East and Vela and all that, because all them 3 right there, they're going to be playing against each other over the next few weeks. Edinburg at 2-1 in district play. They're right there with the possibility of making the playoffs. Economides is 1-3. They play against Weslaco East tonight. Then you got Edinburg North and Donna North.
You notice, Carlos, the gap between the teams that are 5th place down, 4th place up is 2 games. So if you're Edinburg Vela, if you're Weslaco East, if you're Weslaco High, Edinburg Bobcats, you win tonight, you're in great position to clinch a playoff spot. Perhaps you'll clinch a playoff spot as some of these other teams lose. But the game of the week in this district is right here in Weslaco, Edinburg against Weslaco. So the loser will still be in good shape, but with a win, you'll be in great shape. And that's how it basically goes, Carlos. And pretty much the 4 teams could be decided as early as tonight.
Yeah, and with the Bobcats playing the way they are with a 6-1 record, I don't think the Weslaco Panthers are going to sleep on the Bobcats tonight. All right, well, one of the reasons why the Weslaco Panthers are doing so well is because of that defense. They have one of the top defenses across the Rio Grande Valley, one of the top defenses in 31-6A. And I want to talk a little bit about that defensive line. Let's take a look at this play right here. And this was against Vela High School 2 weeks ago right here at Bobby Lackey Stadium. And watch, Sam Pettis takes on the blocker, gets in the backfield, and makes the tackle. Big old Sam Pettis, one of the anchors on that defensive line. And watch the play again, because he blows by the blocker and makes the tackle. What a spectacular play. One of the best plays you will see defensive linemen make, and we wanted to give them a lot of credit because of the way they are playing. You also have Seth Sanchez on that defensive line. You have Jesse Ramos, and you have Benito Juarez. Those are your 4 starters right there, but then they also like to rotate the other players as well. I'm talking about Elijah Estevanes, Aaron Garcia, Alexis Munoz, A.B. Rodriguez, and Adrian Fuentes. You'll see them play a lot, try to keep fresh legs. That defensive line, Mike, they have done a very good job, solidified that defense on that front line.
And what it shows, Carlos, with all those names you listed, is that they have depth. That means they're deep. That means they have fresh bodies coming in and out throughout the game. And, I mean, we're talking about a unit, a line that is young and that is experienced, and it also consists of a bunch of seniors. We're talking about Seth Sanchez, a 2-year starter. We're talking about Jesse Ramos, a 3-year starter, all seniors. Sam Perez, another senior there. Benito Juarez, another senior. Elijah Estevanes, a junior. These guys have really, really come through, have been the backbone of the defense, have made life easier for the linebackers and for the defensive backs, because if you can penetrate, if you can pressure the quarterback, if you can make tackles in the backfield, well, guess what? That means that linebackers, that defensive backs can play back a little bit, and as a result, the unit will play that much better.
All right, and they'll be tested tonight against a tough Edinburg Bobcat offensive line. All right, so it is homecoming here at Bobby Lackey Stadium. That means mums, garters, and reunions taking place. And for the Weslaco Panthers High School, or for Weslaco High School and the Panthers, last night was their first ever homecoming parade. Here are some of the sights and sounds of that event.
I think homecoming at any place is special. We're trying to ensure that at Weslaco High School, homecoming is special, and then to have the community come out and show their support, not only to our student athletes, but all of our administration, I think is a really good deal.
Our football team has done really great this year, and it being homecoming week, everyone definitely has a lot of school spirit, running for the homecoming court and all that, and I just think it's a really great event to bring people together.
It's awesome to have great support. The hard work we put in all offseason is for them, so when they come out and support us like they have, it's a great feeling.
The bonfire has been a tradition for some time. As time went over and the parking lot was paved, we started burning the letter. So we've been doing that probably for the last maybe 10 years now.
We're very blessed to have the support system we do. We have a great community, a great school district, and we're just proud to be a part of it and just working our butts off to prove everyone right and hopefully just continue to be successful in everything that we do.
All right, and a great time last night right here, the burning of the W right here in the parking lot of Bobby Lackey Stadium. All right, well, Scott Harrison will have the call tonight. It'll be on YouTube, delayed after the game. And Scott, we're going to send it up to you in the booth because, Scott, talk to me a little bit about this game, a very important game for both teams.
Here, one of the things I'm going to be very excited to see is the rushing. And of course, you've been talking very much about Benvenides, Herlin Benvenides. And last week, remember, he won the game. It was a game where very quickly, a big lead of 14-0 for the Bobcats, but then they're trailing 21-14 at halftime, and it comes late in the game. He scored as a 1-yard touchdown run. So this young man can come through in the clutch. But let's not forget about the Weslaco Panthers. What are you talking about here? Jacob Cavazos. We all know that he can throw the ball, but he can run it too. We know Benvenides scores a lot of touchdowns. He has 10 on the season, but Jacob Cavazos, he has 9 touchdowns himself. And remember, these are two of the best running backs here in the Rio Grande Valley, so it's going to be a lot of fun to watch both of them play against each other tonight. But they're not the only ones out there. Jeremy Coronado, remember, he missed games early in the season due to an injury, but he came on strong last week, and he rushed for 96 yards on 9 carries and had a touchdown run of over 50 yards. So he is going to be very valuable as he backs up Peyton Knab. And once again, the two Jessies got in there, and they got some good experience in the second half. Jesse Hernandez and Jesse Perez. Hernandez with another long touchdown run. And this was the largest margin of victory in the Valley this season as Donna North lost 75-3. So you would think that maybe Coach Salinas, Michael Salinas, has nothing negative to say about this game, but I'm sure one of the things that upset him was penalties once again by the offense. One time there in the game in the first half, I remember the ball was down at the 9-yard line. I think it was first and goal at the 9-yard line for Weslaco, and they had 4 straight penalties that moved the ball back to the 29. So you know a coach doesn't like that at all. Those false starts still a problem for the team, and I'm sure he wants to see that work out better this week. But again, things ready to go. Receivers out there, we hope guys are getting healthier as time goes. And again, that is how I take it this week as we get ready for the Bobcats and the Panthers.
All right, thank you very much, Scott Harrison. He'll have the call tonight, Panthers versus the Bobcats. That game will be on YouTube, so you can watch it on a delayed basis on our YouTube channel, KWES YouTube channel, about an hour after tonight's contest. Yeah. All right, so one of the things that we like about coming to these games, there's football, there's the cheerleaders, there's the drill team, and there's also the band as well. But what about all the game day treats? We're talking about the snack bar. Mike Gonzalez, you get all the good assignments.
All right, Carlos, thank you very much. We are inside here, the concession stand, the south side, where everybody's getting ready. As you can see here, they're getting the popcorn ready, already on sale. We see some people back here already buying some stuff here. We got some candy. We got the employees here working very, very hard. We're expecting a very good crowd tonight. So what does that mean? That means that the concession stand will also be ready. And joining me here to talk a little bit more about it is the Weslaco High Senior Class President, Ali Science. And Ali, you guys have been out here since what time?
Well, we've been out here since like 2. We've been out here since 2 at the visitor side also getting things set up.
And like what is the most popular item here that you sell every Friday night?
I would say it's the nachos or the chili cheese dogs, hot chili cheese, and the popcorn, especially the waters and the Powerades.
And I mean, I see a lot of classmates here and employees working here. This is pretty much a team effort, isn't it?
Yes, I especially get a lot of help from the Vice President, Destiny Torres. We get a lot of help from everybody. It's like a whole team effort.
And I mean, you guys raise money for the school. And I mean, just talk about where all these funds go to.
It goes to our organization, and it mostly goes to the seniors. We invest a lot in buying the senior T-shirts, and we organize also the senior walk video collage, and we have to just set up a bunch of things to make a lot of the things that we do possible. And we also save it for the lock-in that we have at the end of the year, and we invest a lot so that all the seniors could have fun and enjoy their year and just sit back and have fun.
We have a senior lock-in at the end of the year, and the majority of our money goes to that. They basically, the inside of the school, they get there at midnight, they stay until 6 in the morning. They play basketball, we have DJ, they have karaoke, we play some other games, we have food and everything for them. But the thing that they really come for is that all this money that every year, basically we buy about $10,000 worth of prizes, and we raffle them off in the morning. We have television sets, we have computers, iPads, wireless earbuds, Fitbits, you name it, anything electronic. Sometimes some fun things like a fishing pole and a cooler. But, I mean, that's what they really come for. They come to have fun and win a prize.
And you know what? I've never been inside a concession stand before. I don't know what it's like to work, but kind of take us, what is it like during halftime? What is it like before the game or even after the game working? Yeah, tell us a little bit.
During halftime, it's very hectic. Throughout the whole thing, it's very hectic, even at the very end of the fourth quarter. But during halftime, it's just crazy, We run into a lot of the teachers and security guards and a lot of our friends here. But we're just really busy getting all the money and then getting all the food, preparing them, and having to keep the ice chest, cold. It's very hard, but we end up pulling through.
Yeah, it is a lot of work, guys, and we appreciate everything you're doing. We encourage the fans to come out here and support them. It's for a very, very good cause, and it goes to the high school. And everything smells really good here, Carlos, so I think I'm going to get me either a hot dog or some nachos there, so I'm going to send it back to you.
All right, Mike, and I know they're going to charge you because this goes to the senior class of 2019. All right, let's take a look at the weather for tonight. It was a little bit rainy this morning, when you went to work this morning, but the rain has now gone. There's only a 5% chance of rain right now. 70 degrees at kickoff. It's going to feel awesome tonight. Relative humidity is going to be about 73%, so it should be great weather to come out, enjoy homecoming right here at Bobby Lackey Stadium. It'll be the Weslaco Panthers taking on the Edinburg Bobcats. Kickoff is at 7:30. For Mike Gonzalez, who's over there in the snack bar, I'm Carlos Robledo. We'll see you guys after the game.
And good evening and welcome. It is time for another K-West production of Weslaco Panthers football. I'm Scott Harrison. I'll be joined by Carlos Robledo as my color analyst here in a few minutes. But first, let us tell you a little bit about tonight's game. The guests are the Edinburg Bobcats. They are 6-1 on the season and 2-1 on district action. Meanwhile, the Panthers, they're also 6-1 this season, and they are 1-1 in district. Now, they both are in District 31 6A. We are here in Weslaco, Texas at Bobby Lackey Stadium, and we're glad you all have tuned in tonight. It is a good night for football. I believe it'll be around 70 degrees during this game. Really no chance of rain, so you couldn't ask for better conditions after a humid early part of the season. And we are ready to kick off in just a moment. And as far as the coaches tonight, well, first off, we have J.J. Leha, and he is in his third year for the Bobcats. His overall record is 19-10. 6-5 was the Bobcats last year. Meanwhile, Michael Salinas, he will be the coach of the Panthers for the second season, and his overall record is 9-7. And some news we expect to see possibly tonight, the Bobcats with their primary quarterback in action, and that's Matt Cruz. He has been out since the fourth game, when late in that non-district game, he suffered a knee injury. And basically, the passing game, mostly non-existent for the Bobcats. They have really been going with one running back, and that's Herlin Benavides. Matter of fact, last week, he rushed 37 times for 175 yards. And also, I believe, had a touchdown late in the game that won it. About 3 minutes left. He scored on a 4th and goal to go with 1. And that wound up giving the Bobcats a 24-21 victory over Economides. Meanwhile, last week, well, a big victory for Weslaco on the road against Donna North. And now we see George Martinez kicking it off. And it will go to the Bobcats. And they are going to be down very quickly, down around the 12-yard line.
Tonight's starting lineup is brought to you by Copyright, Weslaco's digital print, photography, and design shop.
Roy Trevino, Senior. Axel Camarena, Senior. Jaden Kanab, Senior.
Jake Espinosa, Senior. Raul Camarena, Senior.
Jacob Bailly, Senior.
All right, so here comes the Bobcats. And they will start off first on offense. They have basically white uniforms. Their colors are red, white, and blue. And they will start off near their own 12-yard line. And we will see the quarterback in action. It looks like it is Cruz. And very quickly, the ball is fumbled.
J.T. Gonzalez, Senior. Seth Sanchez, Senior.
Benito Juarez, Senior.
Sam Perez, Senior.
Jesse Ramos, Senior.
Copyright, copies done right.
All right, Bobcats recover the fumble. And it now is going to be a 2nd down and long. So a very good break for them to keep the ball. And another running play, not much yardage at all. And ball will go up near the 5-yard line. So very quickly, the defense coming on strong for Weslaco. We see the replay, handoff, and not much go at all that time. Harlan Benavides, and he is stopped that time by Seth Sanchez. So 3rd and long coming up, 3rd and 16. Again, Cruz at quarterback, and he will pass the ball. But he has got some pressure in the backfield, does get the ball off to about the 10-yard line. Back has it, and it is Benavides, and he is going to get down to around the 20-yard line. Nice gain on the play, but still a few yards short of the 1st down. Let's watch the replay. Passing has almost been non-existent again, we mentioned, for the Bobcats since the injury to Cruz. But since he's back in there, he'll get it ahead to Benavides. Almost 1,000 yards rushing this season, but we see him on that play, and he is finally upended, and a nice open field tackle, and that is going to be by Jaden Kanab. So it is going to be a punt coming up on 4th and 4, and the ball will be punted at about the 10-yard line, and it's blocked. It's blocked, And a big play early for Weslaco as the punt is blocked. And Weslaco is going to get great field position on their opening series of the game. So special teams coming through quickly for the Panthers. Let's watch the replay. And the ball is tipped. Not sure exactly who got it. There are several Panthers around there. But again, a nice job. And Jacob Cavazos brings the team out. Could have been Roy Trevino. We'll try to check on that. And Cavazos has the ball very quickly. 1st and 10, and will fall forward for a couple yards. And this season he has rushed for 642 yards. We see him on the quarterback keeper. Fakes the handoff to Peyton Knab. Of course, Benavides has 972 yards coming into the game. Cavazos right there has rushed for 9 touchdowns, including 2 last week in that big victory over Donna North, 75-3. It was the biggest victory of one team over the other in the Rio Grande Valley so far this season. So it is going to be 2nd and 8. Ball near the 10-yard line. And again, let's see if Weslaco can quickly capitalize on that turnover. And it looks like an offsides penalty. Penalties were a real problem. False starts last week for Weslaco. And again, another offsides, false start, whatever you want to call it. Going to move the ball 5 yards back. So we are going to have a 2nd and 13. Loss of 5, obviously, with a penalty. 2nd down and 13. And the ball will be back around the 16-yard line. And this time, Cavazos once again has it. Jacob going to the right side, and he is down near the 10-yard line. So he is going to pick up about 7 yards on that play. And that is going to be about a 3rd down coming up, and still long yardage to go. Let's watch Jacob. And Jacob takes the ball. Again, good open field runner. And finally, he is brought down, and it's going to be a 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5, ball near the 10-yard line. Have to get it down near the 4 for the 1st down. Again, moving toward our right, toward the end zone. And this time, Cavazos fakes the handoff to Knab again, and he is not going to get much at all. He is stood up. So, again, after the turnover, we see the Bobcats defense coming up strong. Again, you see the fake handoff, and met at the line of scrimmage, and not much going at all. Lazaro Patlin among those in on the stop. 4th and 4. Timeout going to be called. It looked like the offense was going to stay on the field. Talking about Cavazos passing the ball this year. He has completed 79 of 129 passes for 868 yards. Completed 61% of his passes, 15 touchdowns, 1 interception. Last week, 10 of 15 for 106 yards, and did throw a touchdown. Again, rushing the ball. We mentioned that he has 9 touchdowns this season, 94 carries coming into this game for 624 yards. And last week, 4 carries for 53 yards and 2 touchdowns. So this young man has accounted for over 20 touchdowns as far as passing and rushing the ball. And we'll have to see the decision coming up here on 4th down. So you like the fact Carlos are going to go for the field goal, and Martinez very good booting the ball this year.
Yeah, thank you very much, Scott. Good to be here for this homecoming game, Edinburg versus the Weslaco Panthers. And yeah, George has been pretty reliable as the field goal kicker for the Weslaco Panthers. Why not get 3 points here?
Fake. It is Jaden Cavazos trying to get it over to Martinez on the pass, but we see Martinez could not handle it, and it will go over on downs now to the Bobcats. A little razzle-dazzle. Again, Carlos Robledo, as we mentioned at the beginning of the game, our analyst tonight. Little razzle-dazzle that did not quite work out, as you can see on the replay.
Yeah, and I don't know if he was going to get anywhere either. It looks like the Bobcats were all over that one from the very get-go. A little fake to try to get the couple of yards that they needed for the 1st down. But didn't go so well. One of the things about the Weslaco Panthers all season long, every game they have started, since that very first game with Rowe, even until last week and the week against Vela, they've always started off well. This is the first time where they don't come up with, I don't want to say they didn't come up with points, but not a good ending to the drive.
And Harlan will get the ball. Benvenides gets about 4 yards. We talked about how good a runner he is. And Matt Cruz in the quarterback. He played about the first 4 games of the year, as we mentioned earlier, and again had the knee injury. Back in tonight. That's going to mean maybe some more passing for the Bobcats.
Yeah, they have an opportunity. I think if you take a look at the stats throughout most of the year, it's been a running attack for the Bobcats. A lot of Mr. Herlin running the ball up the middle. 132 carries on the year for the young man. So we'll see if they pass the ball much with the quarterback back from an injury.
2nd down and 9 on the Jets sweep. Not much at all, reversing his field and getting tackled in the backfield. Very, very good defense. Adrian Garza, who played quarterback for a while, is tackled on that play, and it looks like it's Jathan Gonzalez.
Yeah, and all started with that defensive front. Nowhere for the tackle and guard to go upfield to block the linebacker. So Jathan Gonzalez comes from that second level, that linebacker position, to pin the Bobcats now back inside the 5-yard line. That's the type of defense we've seen all season long from the Panthers.
Loss of about 8 on that play. Makes it 3rd down and 17. Clock running, approaching 7 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. And right now, the Bobcats back at about their own 3-yard line. Matt Garza back. He'll pass out of the end zone, looks upfield, and has his receiver open for a moment, but no room to catch it at the far sideline. And it was Roy Trevino among those in on the protection there. We see Trevino. He's been injured for a bit, but he's back in. Adrian Garza, the intended receiver. Garza did play some quarterback, but again, not much passing. Carlos, while he was playing quarterback, he only passed 14 times while he was in there over 3 games, I think, approximately.
Yeah.
And completed 7 of them, did have a touchdown. But again, Garza, not much of a passer. And now their main quarterback in, once again, Garza, now mostly a slot player. And the punt will be coming up from the back of the end zone, this time not blocked, but the punter has to get it off from the back of the end zone, and it's taken at the 32-yard line, and it'll be taken down to about the 25. So a nice return, Roy Trevino, and great field position for the Panthers to begin this particular drive. So we look forward to seeing what they can do with this good field position. The first time they had it, again, about the 12-yard line after the block punt, they really couldn't capitalize, but we'll see if they can do better this time. So good field position, great field position on the first 2 possessions of the night for the Panthers as they come back out on offense. Raymond Cantanilla is the punter, by the way. And this time, another back in, not Peyton Kanab, but Jeremy Coronado. And he's going to get about 5 of the 20. Remember, he had 2 long runs, or 1 real long run for a touchdown last week, 55 and 6 yards, 1 55-yard run, 1 6-yard run for a touchdown. So he was injured early. Seems like he's back in.
Oh, man, I saw him at practice earlier this week, and he just sticks out, compared to all the other running backs. So much speed and quickness for Coronado.
2nd down and 6, about the 20-yard line. And this time, Cavazos keeps it. He'll get down to about the 19. Not much running room this time. Seen pretty good line play on the defensive line for the Bobcats.
Well, the Bobcats are 6-1 for a reason. They played a lot of 6A teams. Some people have said, well, maybe they haven't played the toughest of schedules. But anytime I think you beat a 6A team in the Rio Grande Valley and then a tough 5A team, you're going to be pretty good. They've been battle tested. They played against Hardin South, who were making a run at the playoffs. They beat Mercedes. Mercedes making a run at the playoffs. So they're a pretty good football team. We'll find out a whole lot more when they play Weslaco tonight, and then next week they'll play against Vela.
3rd down and 5, but before the snap, there is a whistle. Whistle on the play. It's going to be against Weslaco. Looks like a false start. That was a problem. Penalty's a problem last week. At one point, 4 straight penalties against Weslaco in the game. They were at the 9-yard line and got moved back all the way to the 29. So it's 3rd and 10. Ball around the 25. Jacob Cavasso has it, sprints down the right side. He's at the 20, goes out at about the 19-yard line, but he was going to have to get down to the 14 for the first down. We know Cavazos can run the ball, so it's going to be 4th down and about 4. And again, George Martinez comes out. Remember, they faked the field goal. It didn't go so well last time. Let's see what happens on this particular try by Martinez. Jaden Cavasso's holding. Ball will be down at about the 26-yard line, making a 36-yard field goal attempt. And it's up, and it is good, I believe. Yes, it is. So with 5:18 remaining in the opening quarter, a 36-yard field goal gives the early lead to the Panthers. Montgomery, very accurate kicker. I believe he's 4 out of 5 this year as far as field goals. And extra point attempts, he's only missed 1 the whole year. So very accurate. Good man to have on your team, to say the least. Edinburg will get the ball in a moment, and Martinez will kick it off. We're glad everybody aboard with us tonight, enjoying football action from Bobby Lackey Stadium, along with Carlos Robledo. I'm Scott Harrison. We did see Noriega, Marco Noriega, suit up. He's missed several games with injuries, and he, of course, is a linebacker, one of the leaders on defense for Weslaco, and I'll have to take a look and see if he is playing out there. They said he might get some spot action, but really expected to be back more next week against Weslaco East. So again, Montgomery will be kicking off from his 40-yard line toward the scoreboard. Back gets it, about his own 5, and he will be down at about the 23-yard line. And returning that ball is Adrian Garza. And Garza, again, played some quarterback when Cruz was injured. Garza, though, primarily a slot receiver. He has caught 7 passes for 96 yards and a touchdown. We see Garza on the return. Nice back, can move the ball. And a host of tacklers that time. Good work on special teams containing that return. Panthers tonight in their basically purple uniforms, white numerals, white helmets, and the purple Panther on the side of the helmet. There comes Matt Cruz back out, trying to get his team lined up. He has completed 22 of 49 passes this season for 325 yards. Hands it up once again to Benvenides. And he is not going to get too much rushing room as the line is up to the task for Weslaco. Cruz, 2 interceptions and 6 touchdowns. You see Benvenides, not a big guy, but knows how to find the hole. But that time, he is just stacked up and moved back. Elijah Estevanes among those in on the tackle at defensive end, and Halloween not far away. And so we'll probably see some scary faces out there in the crowd. I don't have to wear any kind of paint on my face or any kind of makeup to make myself scary, but that's why I'm on camera minimally. All right, Cruz ahead, and he will find a receiver down near the first down marker. He needed about 8, and it looks like he may have gotten the first down. So Edinburg trying to move the ball, had to get down to about the 34-yard line. And I believe it was Garza on the reception. First down and 10. Panthers lead the Bobcats 3-0. Clock approaching 4 minutes remaining in the opening quarter. Ball at the 34-yard line. And again, Benvenides gets it. He's tripped up. Falls ahead to about the 35-yard line. And we'll be calling his name a lot. We mentioned last week he ran the ball 37 times. You can see trying to go off tackle, but he is stood up and brought down on that play. Nice job by Jathan Gonzalez. Pickup of 1, second down and 9. We have a slot on the left. They basically work out of the gun. Long pass off the fingertips of the intended receiver, Jaime Zamora. Back there, it looked like it was Jaden Kanab on the protection. Stepped up in the pocket. You see the pass. And thrown a little bit out of the reach. But I think Knab would have been there to make the tackle very quickly. And there's a pretty young lady with a pretty bow enjoying the game. Lots of fans here. It is homecoming, by the way. And we see everybody dressed up. Back on the passes. Cruz once again. This time will try to run the ball. Seth Sanchez the first to hit him. There he is. Seth always around the ball. So it's going to be 4th and 9. Quarterback maybe thinking about passing. It steps up in the pocket, but Sanchez says you're going nowhere except down. And maybe a little bit of a loss on that play, so a loss of actually 4. It's going to be 4th and 13. Punt goes up, and it's picked up by Jaden Cavazos at about the 34-yard line. He'll be knocked down at the 42-yard line. So coming in for their 3rd possession of the night, it's going to be the Panthers. Raymond Quintanilla also plays on defense, the punter. Coming into this game, he had 18 punts for 748 yards. He had been averaging 41.6 yards a punt, not quite that this time. So this will be the first time that Weslaco starts back in their own territory. First 2 times they started in the Bobcats territory and did capitalize 1 time on a field goal. And this time, Jets sweep, and it's going to be a nice run. Devin Denna, and Denna is going to get down to about the 37-yard line before he's tackled from behind. So he goes from his own 42 to the 37-yard line. Pickup of about 21 yards on that rush. Denna, primarily a receiver, but getting a chance to run on that play. And it looks like there is a penalty. Holding against the Panthers. So the ball will be moving back. Tough break. Denna, 19 catches for 29 yards and 4 touchdowns this season. Had 3 catches for 54 yards last week. As a matter of fact, Denna, in the first 3 games of the season, had a touchdown each game, then got injured, missed some time, but again, came back last week and making the most of it. So it's going to be 1st down and 20. Panthers now back at their own 32-yard line. Jacob Cavazos with the ball. He'll keep it, and he is going to get down to about the 42. So he'll pick up near 10 yards on that play, and he'll get back the penalty yardage. So it's going to be about 2nd and 10 yards to go. And Jacob trying to make things more manageable. And again, we talked about his ability to run. Came into this game with 642 yards. And he'll hand it off this time to Peyton Knab. And Knab is going to fall forward. His own effort, and the surge of the line gets him a couple extra yards. And he'll be down at about the 47-yard line. Has to get to the 48-yard line to get a 1st down. 48-yard line of the Bobcats. So it'll be 3rd down and 6. We'll give him a gain of 4 on that play. Clock running. Minute 45 remaining in this opening quarter. One back in the backfield, that's Knab, and he'll get the pass on the left side, and he's going to get the 1st down and a lot more. He's going to go out at about the 43-yard line. So nice pickup of about 10 on that screen pass. Knab has caught some passes this year. We see the replay. And Cavazos gets it to Knab and gets on downfield. Payne Knab this year, 6 catches for 57 yards coming into the game and 1 touchdown. Of course, mainly a rusher, 96 carries for 406 yards and 2 touchdowns. And that time Cavazos gets a yard. Or actually, let's give him 2. 2nd down and 8. So Knab, 96 rushes for 406 yards and 2 touchdowns. As we talk about him, he gets the ball again. Not much up the middle that time. Last week, he had a big week. 17 carries for 128 yards and a score. You can see, met quickly and knocked down. Nathan Villanueva among those in on the tackle. It's going to be 3rd down and 6. Fast-moving first quarter. Bobby Stadium, Weslaco, Texas. Cavazos back, and it goes off the fingertips of his intended receiver at the 35-yard line. Tough break there. Isaac Villarreal, or Villarreal, I should say. Isaac Villarreal has it go off his fingertips, and it's going to be 4th and 6, but the Panthers are going to go for it. If I recall, Villarreal did have a touchdown catch earlier this year. He did. 5 catches for 61 yards this year and a touchdown from the tight end position. No, they're going to punt the ball instead. Cavazos has it. He's the punter, rugby-style kicker, and he'll put it out at about the 10-yard line. So first punt of the game for the Panthers on their 3rd possession, and the Bobcats will get it back. 1st and 10. 22 seconds remaining here in the opening quarter. Glad everybody watching this K-West production. Glad to have you aboard. Very, very important matchup. Again, teams are both 6-1. Panthers 1-1 in district, while the Bobcats are 2-1 in district. Bobcats have 5 returners on defense and 5 on offense, 28 lettermen overall. Meanwhile, the Panthers, 6 returning offensive players, 8 on defense, 28 returning lettermen too. All right, 1st and 10, and it is going to be snapped back to Garza. Wildcat snap, and then he'll pitch it off to Benvenides, and he'll get a few yards. Actually, no, it was Cruz that got it. I want to make a correction there. So Cruz got it, and Cruz will get it over and pitches it over to Benvenides, and he will get a few yards on that play before he is tackled. We'll give him 4, so it's going to be 2nd down and 6, and that is going to be possibly the last play of the quarter, and it is. So after 1 quarter of play, it is the Weslaco Panthers over the Edinburg Bobcats, 3-0. And the only points so far have been a field goal, and that was a 36-yarder by George Martinez. We talked about him being a very, very good kicker, being able to get the job done. Unofficially, he has connected on 35 out of 36 extra point attempts this season. And I believe now he's 5 out of 6 in field goal attempts. Weslaco Panthers this year on offense, they've rushed for 1,676 yards, passed for 890, a total of 2,566 yards. They're averaging on offense this year 366.5 yards per game. So offense not quite picking up yards as much in this game as they have in other matchups, but again, it's early, only the end of the first quarter, and the Bobcats now have it. It's going to be 2nd down and 6, and it's going to be a pass this time, and it looked like it was tipped for a moment, but then it's caught by the receiver. A nice effort there on the ball by Raul Camarena, but the ball is finally hauled in over there by Adrian Garza. And let's see if it's called incomplete. All right, incomplete. So that will make it, well, no, it is complete. Just wanted to double check. So gain of 3 on that play. It's going to be 3rd down and 3. Ball is at the 30-yard line. 11:53 remaining here in the first half. And Cruz has it. This time has to hurry it off and just throws it into the ground. Looked like he was trying to develop a screen over there, but Benvenides, Herlin Benvenides, but no go. So again, it's going to bring up 3rd down. 3rd down and 3.
Dead ball. False start on the offense.
Well, maybe that's why he threw it in the ground, because there was a flag.
It's a 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
All right, so that's why maybe that went to the ground. So it's going to be now 3rd down and 8. Ball back at the 25-yard line. Bobcats moving left to right here in the second quarter, moving toward the scoreboard. Beautiful new scoreboard just put in this season. A lot of people here for homecoming, maybe seeing it for the first time. Definitely have to be proud of it. And it's paid for all by sponsors. Cruz dropping back to his 15-yard line, rolling, throws down the right, has a receiver, and the receiver will be out at about the 39-yard line. And that is going to be a first down. So a nice reception, a nice gain by Jaime Zamora. And I guess the ball was back where, around the 22. So pickup of about 17 on that play. And it's 1st and 10. Bobcats still in their own territory at the 39-yard line. Trips on the left. And this time, ball moved ahead. Not much. Cruz on the keeper. And it's going to be 2nd down and about 10. Maybe even a little bit of a loss on the play. So good defensive effort. We see Sanchez among those in on the play. Also Jesse Ramos. Again, the defensive line very strong for the Weslaco Panthers. It'll be 2nd down 11 after the loss of 1. And Benvenides now sweeps around the left side, and he is going to get about 10 yards. Still a yard short of the first down. And Carlos, have you been impressed by Benvenides? We talked about how he's probably near 1,000 yards for the season. This guy's not that big, kind of a scant back, but he gets the yardage.
Yeah, but have you looked at that offensive line? Pretty big as well.
Yeah.
Got number 73, the tackle over there on that left-hand side, who's got to be about 6'3", maybe even 6'4". He's opening up some holes for him on that outside.
Bobby Salinas, and I've heard maybe that one of their linemen's out tonight too. So again, they're still doing a good job. And Benvenides now will get ahead, and he will get the first down, picks up about 3, and he's now in Weslaco territory at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, once again, goes right behind Salinas, the big boy, 73, who took care of the defensive end. They're not sure who that is, or the outside linebacker, to get him the first down.
Okay, so it's going to be 1st and 10. Again, Bobcats in Weslaco territory. Cruz playing his first game in a while. Benvenides, no stranger to running the ball a lot. He's going to get another first down. Goes off left tackle. We mentioned rushed the ball 37 times for 175 yards last week. This guy's a workhorse. We don't see too many high school guys carry this much, do we, Carlos?
Well, they remind me a lot of what Weslaco East does. Because Weslaco East will do the same thing. They'll use more than one back. They'll use a couple of them. But this guy seems to be a stocky type of back who can break a couple of tackles and run in between the tackles as well.
1st and 10 at the 39-yard line of Weslaco. This time, Benvenides does not get much. Hits the middle of the line, and they're up to it. Stack them up. And among those in on the tackle, Samuel Perez.
Yeah, Sam Perez has had a good year, and he's in on that tackle right there. They don't get much out of that run, but what the Bobcats are doing now, controlling the clock and just moving the ball down the field. But here's a critical 2nd down.
All right, 2nd down and 9. Gain of 1 on that last play. And there is a whistle before the snap, ball down at the 38-yard line. False start. So it's going to make it now 2nd down and 14.
False start on the offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
So that works in benefit of the Panthers because they were moving the ball nicely on this drive. And now, 2nd and 15 or looks a little bit better, or 2nd and 14 looks a whole lot better for the Panthers than 2nd and 9 or 10.
And working out of the gun, Cruz has it. Long pass downfield, and it's going to be past the outreached hands that time of the wide receiver, Ricky Alanis.
Yeah, Alanis was open on that play as well, but the pass just a little bit too deep for him. But Alanis, you'll watch open, but the quarterback, Cruz, throwing it deep down the field, just overthrows him a little bit, but if that's on target, that's a touchdown for the Bobcats.
And back there defending, Peyton Knab. Excuse me, I'm sorry, Jaden Knab, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Jaden has 2 interceptions this year, by the way. So Jaden has a good job doing that.
Yeah, Jaden. Yeah. And then you got Peyton as the running back.
Right.
Two brothers.
Axel Camarena leads the team with 3 interceptions. Roy Trevino also has 1. All right, another pass downfield toward the far sideline. and there's going to be interference called that time. And the intended receiver was Jalen Garza.
Yeah, good coverage on the play there by the Weslaco Panthers, but they're battling back and forth a little bit, and the referee thinks that the Panthers, whoever it was out there, I'm not sure who was defending on there, got there a little too early.
All right. Pass interference, number 28 in the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So let's see if the Bobcats can capitalize on this break as they have their best field position of the evening. Ball down the 22-yard line, I think. No, let's see. It's going to be actually at the 28-yard line. And Carlos, I know you did the pregame show. Beautiful weather out here tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, anytime we get a change in the wind direction down here in the Rio Grande Valley, we get excited because it's hot for, you know what, a good 7-8 months out of the year in the Rio Grande Valley, and then even during our winter months, it could also get a little steamy. So we've been enjoying the weather. It was a little rainy to start off the week, but it's pleasant now.
And again, Benvenides, and he is going to get down to about the 25-yard line, so picks up 5 on that play. It will be 2nd down and 5. Clock running, approaching 8:30 remaining here in the first half. And there is Benvenides once again, and he is tackled initially down from behind, and on that play, Jacob Bailly.
Adrian Fuentes is now in the game here at the defensive tackle, number 68 for the Panthers, trying to get some fresh legs for that defensive line.
All right. So they'll call it 2nd down and 8 when they mark it. And Cruz is back, and he is going to be sacked. Big defensive play that time, Matthew Calderon.
Yeah, coming out from the defensive back position is Calderon, quick and fast, gets right by. Adrian Garza should have blocked him, but he missed him because he was trying to get out to his route on the passing play, and Calderon made them pay, and now it's a long. Great defensive play. That's what the Panthers needed at this particular time of the drive because the Bobcats were moving the ball nicely.
Raul Camarena also back there. So it is going to be 3rd and long. And Cruz is back to pass, and he is looking down the right side, and the receiver can't quite pull it in. And the intended receiver on that play was Jaime Zamora.
What a nice arm this young man has. Throws that one across the field, right on target, flips the ball. Cruz, nothing wrong with his knee. Great, nice, tight spiral there, but the receiver just couldn't hold on to it. If these receivers start to catch the football, it's a totally different ballgame.
Yeah, you're right about that. Matthew Calderon back on defense that time also. So it's going to be 4th down and 13. Ball at the 32-yard line of Weslaco. One back in the backfield. Benvenides, and once again he has trouble blocking, helping out his quarterback, and Seth Sanchez sends Cruz down.
Sanchez, an all-district player from a year ago and also an outstanding baseball player. In the backfield in a hurry. He's one of those from the defensive line who's very athletic. Goes right by Salinas, the big tackle on that left-hand side. And he goes in and brings down the quarterback on a big 4th down play for the defense.
So we've got now 1st and 10 as the ball goes over on downs to the Panthers. They'll have it at their own 42-yard line. Man in motion. Ball will be handed off to Coronado, and he is going to get not much. Jeremy up the middle is stopped, and he's approaching about 100 yards rushing on the season. Came into this game, I think, 9 carries for 96 yards after missing that as a good portion of the year with injuries.
Yeah, he's done a good job. Kanad has also done a good job from the running back position. The leading runner, though, is the quarterback.
Yeah, the quarterback had over 600 yards coming into this game and 9 rushing touchdowns. It'll be 1st and 10, no gain on that play. And this time, Coronado will try to go around the right side, and he's going to get some yardage. Remember, he had a 55-yard run last week, and he could have another big one. He's at the 15-yard line before he is finally brought down. What a big run, and that one's about 42 yards.
Yeah, best play of the game so far for the Weslaco Panthers on the offensive side of the ball because he takes the football. There's a first wave that gets his hands on him. It looks like he's going to come down after maybe 10 yards, but he keeps motoring down the field. Then he gets into the secondary, and he breaks another tackle right there, and now Panthers in business at the 15.
So finally brought down, and I'll tell you what, good field position. And right now, Cavazos is going to go ahead and gets down to about the 11 on the quarterback keeper.
Just some great running lanes on that play right there, and that's going to open things up for Cavazos now. They'll be keying in on Jeremy, and that'll open things up down the middle here for Cavazos.
Mario Rodriguez in on the tackle. Second down, about 6 yards to go. Have to get the ball down to the 5-yard line of the Bobcats for a first down. Moving to the goal line on the north to our left. And Coronado gets it, but he is stopped right in his tracks in the backfield. And it is Emmanuel Duran who comes in and stops him.
Yeah, this defense here for the Edinburg Bobcats is a little underrated. They've been playing pretty tough football, and it looked like making the play there was Duran, Emmanuel Duran, for the Bobcats. A good defensive play there for the Bobcats.
So the loss will make it 3rd down and 9. And this time Cavazos going back to pass, little screen, and gets it. And the ball is going to go down to the 5-yard line. And a nice catch and run on that play by Rolando Barones.
Yeah, that Barones makes a spectacular play right there because he's got the pressure that's coming from behind, but he makes a little spin move opposite of where the defenders are coming, and he's able to pick up those yards. But if he goes towards the sideline, he's down. But watch, he goes towards the opposite of the sideline where there are no defenders. That's just a great athletic play.
Brought down from behind by Emmanuel Duran. And this is Coronado, and Coronado is going to take it in for the score. 7-yard touchdown run.
Great drive, a little bit of passing, a nice run by Coronado. You want to give him the touchdown. He had the long run to set this one up. He punches it in for the score, and now the Panthers on the board, about to make it up by 10.
All right, so the first touchdown of the game with 4:39 remaining here in the first half. High snap. You see Jacob Cavazos giving it off to Jeremy Coronado right up the middle for the score. Nice play for that young man. And now George Martinez coming in for the extra point attempt, and he puts it straight through the uprights as usual. So now it is the Panthers ahead 10-0 again. 4:39 remaining here in the opening quarter. So the Panthers trying to get things going, trying to get things under control. And as we look at the Panthers defense, which will be coming on the field in a moment, they have given up 869 yards on the rushing attack, 548 passing. So that's a total of 1,417 yards given up this year by Weslaco's defense. That's an average of just over 202 yards a game. Weslaco East, who will meet the Panthers next week, they have the best defense in the district, giving up 155.2 yards a game. Once again, Panthers giving up 202 yards approximately, and Weslaco East just over 155 yards a game. And these two defenses will be meeting next week here, next Friday at 7:30. Can't wait to see Weslaco and Weslaco East.
Yeah. Start talking about that if you're a coach, but the fans have been talking about it for the past few weeks now. Scott, talked to Mike earlier.
Yeah, Mike's the other guy. No.
Because, the Panthers have had such a good year. No one really knew, in the second year of Coach Salinas what kind of team he was going to have. I'm sure Coach Salinas knew that he was going to be in this position. But the rest of the people in Weslaco were like, okay, if this is the big game, if the Panthers are looking good and the Wildcats are looking good, which they both are, it's going to be a contest that everybody would want to see next week.
And, of course, Carlos, you know why you confused me and Mike Gonzalez. We're both Cubs fans.
Absolutely.
So, it's easy to do.
And I'm a Red Sox fan. And
you got to be happy.
We're enjoying the way things are going.
2-0.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the ball comes down, is picked up, and is going to be moved up to about the 25-yard line. And coming up with that return on that particular play, it is Robert Alfaro. So he will.
You gotta you don't really get a chance to talk too much about the special teams. And the Panthers, one thing I like about Coach Salinas, he's going to put his best players on the field, even on special teams. You'll see Axel Camarena out there, and you'll see, some of their top defenders on that coverage team as well. So he thinks that every phase of the game is important. Your offense, your defense, of course, but on special teams, he's going to put his best players out there as well. So.
All right, 1st and 10, ball at the 25-yard line. Bobcats moving toward the scoreboard side of the field. And this time Seth Sanchez gets Benvenides from behind, no gain.
Yeah, Seth Sanchez is feeling it now, as the young kids like to say, and he's able to get in the backfield, squeeze by the guard and the tackle, and make a play on the running back. And anytime that you can disrupt things in the backfield, it's not good things. This is, you know, if you're an offensive coordinator, you want to maybe set up a screen or go to the passing game because you're getting a lot of pressure up the middle from your defensive tackles.
So maybe give them about a yard on that play. 2nd down and 9. And this time, Benvenides will try to sweep the left side, and he is going to get not much that time either. Several players in on the tackle. And again, good gang tackling that time by Weslaco.
Yeah, they do something a little bit different here. Do the Bobcats, they get their 2 guards that pull the left-hand side. There you see them 77 and 65, trying to get hat on hat and open up some lanes there for Benavides, because up the middle, nothing doing against the Panthers.
Among those, Seth Sanchez and Jacob Bailly. So it's going to be pickup of maybe a couple. 3rd down and 7 coming up. Clock continues to run. Under 3:20 remaining here in the opening quarter. Opening half, I should say. Panthers leading the Bobcats 10-0. And Cruz back to pass. And he's being pressured once again. Gets the ball off. And it is knocked away by Kanab. And the pressure supplied that time by Bailly.
Oh my goodness, Jaden goes up in the air to slap that one away. That was a dangerous throw, but it was on target to his receiver. But look at the way a quarterback there, Cruz, steps up, throws it out there, and if Kanab doesn't bat this one away, it's a catch. But he's there at the last minute to now force a 4th down.
Jaime Zamora, the intended receiver.
Kanab's having himself a pretty good game here, Scott.
He is. 4th down and 7. Punt is off, and it's going to bounce at about the 35-yard line, and it'll get a roll for the Bobcats. It'll be down to the 30-yard line, where Edinburg will start 1st and 10. Actually, I'm sorry, Weslaco will start 1st and 10, and they're in their own territory. We've got 2:51 remaining here in the opening half, so we'll have to see what Weslaco will do. Obviously, they can run or pass the ball. Time, I don't think Carlos is really a factor yet.
Their side, they just scored. They forced a punt, and so just get right back into that offense and see what they can do. They got off to a slow start. They seem to be rolling now.
Marked it actually at the 33, but before they can snap it, there's flags on the field. Referees throw the laundry. And it looks like it's going to be against the Panthers.
Ball start on the offensive center. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
So it'll be 1st and 15 for Weslaco. And they will be moved back to their own 28-yard line to begin this drive. So we'll see if Weslaco will try to open it up a little bit. Cavazos has it, and he's going to hand it off. And it'll be Peyton Kanab, and Kanab is going to fall forward for maybe a couple yards. He's so 2nd down and long.
Peyton getting in on the action now as well. He's a guy that's put on a good 20 pounds or so, and a big bruising back. Able to get a few yards there as they go down low on him. But change of pace back as they bring in now Kanab for Coronado.
All right. So it'll be 2nd down. Maybe about 13, we'll see. And before they can snap it, there's a whistle. I don't know if I see any flags, maybe a timeout. We'll see what the official has to say.
Dead ball. False start on the offense, number 59. The 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Yeah, it's a couple of penalties on this drive here. Coach Salinas cannot be happy with the way this drive is going with the 2 penalties and moving back 10 yards.
Well, I remember last week they had a drive where they had 4 consecutive penalties on offense. So that will be something he'll talk about at halftime. Jacob Cavazos, though, takes it under his wing, and he gets around one tackler, and he is going to get all the way up to about the 40-yard line or more. Had the ball at the 25, and let's see where they mark it. Pickup of at least 15 on that play.
That's all Jacob Cavazos right there. The quickness, the speed, and the moves that he can make. It looks like the defensive back has a great angle on him right there to make the tackle. Instead, he just sidesteps the tackler and picks up almost a first down.
Yeah, 3rd and 1, gain of 17 on that last play, and Peyton Knab will spin, but not much at all.
You know, he's a gifted runner, is Cavazos. He could, and a gifted athlete at that. He could throw the ball very nicely, strong arm, and then when you can run that way, you know, that's what you want as a dual threat quarterback.
So a loss of 1 on that play, making it 4th down and 2. Have to get to the 43-yard line, Weslaco does. Their own 43, and they're back at their 41. And since you have Cavazos back there as the punter, we don't know if he's going to punt it or run it or what he's going to do. But right now it does look like a punt. Down to 1:30 remaining here in the opening half. And Cavazos will punt it toward the right. And it's going to bounce at the 30. And it gets a nice roll inside the 15. And will finally be down at the 14-yard line. 1:15 remaining here in the second quarter as the Bobcats get the ball. We'll see if they'll be content to just try to run out and wait to the second half. Or we'll try some big play. Weslaco gets the ball to begin the second half.
Yeah, that'll be good for the Panthers. You got, what, 1:15, so this, you know, depending on what happens, the Bobcats, if they go back to that ground and pound, can kill the clock here with the Panthers getting the ball first in that third quarter.
Again, nice crowd out here for homecoming. Love seeing the gowns and everybody dressed up.
Yeah, it's a fun time. It's a fun night, especially all the reunions that are going on. A lot of people coming home to watch the Panthers play.
All right, Benvenides gets it, and he's going to get some nice yardage. Not quite a first down, maybe 6 or 7, but clock is running. Not sure how many timeouts they have. I'm kind of blocked from my angle on the scoreboard as I look, but
I think if I'm Coach Leja on the other side, I'll be happy only down by 10 points by this high-powered and high-octane offense going up against them.
2nd down and 8 coming up. Apparently, Bobcats will be content to just run out the first half, though. Benvenides will get about 4 to the 30, actually to the 27, gets the first down. The clock will stop with the first down as they move the markers, chains.
Yeah, but if I'm the Panthers, I don't let up right here. We've seen the arm of Cruz, how he could throw it down the field, and some of these receivers, they can move down the field as well. I wouldn't let up right now in the secondary.
Clock running again, 35 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Ball handed off to Benvenides. Actually, no, Cruz keeps it. Cruz has it. He's going to run, and he is going to get about maybe 6 yards, dropped at the 34-yard line.
And Coach Leja has 3 timeouts to work with, but I think he's going to let the clock run down and make some adjustments at the half.
Clock down to 10 seconds. We'll see if Cruz tries to get something off here, maybe a long pass. Cruz will drop back. He's at his own 13-yard line. And he has some protection, but he's now feeling the pressure. He will get it off, and it is incomplete near midfield. His intended receiver was Joshua Gonzalez. And that is the end of the first half.
Holding
of the
on the offense. The penalty declined. That's a half.
All right, so that is the half officially. Now, Weslaco Panthers over the Edinburg Bobcats, 10-0. As far as scoring, not much to talk about here. We have the 7-yard, actually the 36-yard first field goal by George Martinez. And then we have Jeremy Coronado with a 7-yard run, and that is a recap of the first half scoring. So we'll get ready for all the great festivities that homecoming always brings at halftime. And Carlos Robledo and myself, Scott Harrison, will be back with second half action. Once again, this is 31 6A high school football from Weslaco, Texas, Bobby Lackey Stadium. And at halftime, it is the host team, the Weslaco Panthers 10, and the guests, the Edinburg Bobcats 0. This is a K-West production.
Weslaco ISD graduates receive more than $4 million in college scholarships, including dozens who will play college sports. More than 900 received a certification and are ready for the workforce or continuing their education. Over 400 honor graduates will have opportunities to study at top-tier universities. And we are proud of our scholars graduating from medical school, law school, business school, and Ivy League universities. Weslaco ISD, the right choice for high school and beyond.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Weslaco JROTC Panther Sabre team will execute the arc for our homecoming festivities tonight. The Sabre team members in the center of the field are Commander Major Angel Rojas, Cadet Jose Naranjo, Cadet Aaron Vera, Cadet Jacob Shives, Cadet Andre Olivo, Cadet Miguel Lupecido, Cadet Julio Navarrete, Cadet Juan Tinajero, Cadet Adan Sanchez, and Cadet Christopher Marmolejo.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the annual Weslaco High School Homecoming presentation. On behalf of the Weslaco High School Student Council, we would like to thank the Weslaco Independent School Board, Dr. Priscilla Canales, our superintendent, Ms. Yvette Morales, our principal, the community, parents, and our students for the support you have provided for this year's nominees. Crowning this year's King and Queen will be our 2017 Homecoming Queen, Sydney Cavazos. 2017 Homecoming King, Elijah Rodriguez. And Homecoming Queen from class of 1989, Essie Bloomquist. Now, we would like to introduce our 2018 Homecoming Court. Representing Student Council, Joey Garcia. Representing Cheerleading, Calissa Cavazos. They are your 2018 Freshman Duke and Duchess. Representing sophomore class, Erin Gonzalez. Representing sophomore class, Brianna Aguirre. They are your 2018 sophomore Duke and Duchess. Representing junior class, Charlie Casanova. Representing Lady Powerlifting, Daisy Hernandez. They are your 2018 Junior Duke and Duchess. And now for your 2018 Homecoming finalist. Third runner-up, representing NHS, Jonathan Castillo. Representing tennis, Marisa Gutierrez. Second runner-up, representing boys cross-country team, Antonio Sanchez. Representing Introducing your 2018 Weslaco High School Homecoming King and Queen. Representing tennis, Samuel Nieto. Representing band, Annette Garcia. Congratulations to all. And go Panthers!
Mike, Hez.
And we're getting ready for second half action here in Weslaco, Texas, Bobby Lackey Stadium. Along with Carlos Robledo, I'm Scott Harrison, and this is a K-West production of Weslaco Panthers football. And tonight the Panthers are hosting the Edinburg Bobcats. This is District 31 6A action from Weslaco, Texas. And after 30 minutes of play, it is the Weslaco Panthers leading the Bobcats. Score is 10-0. And so far, the only scoring is a George Martinez field goal. And that came early in the game, made it a 3-0 lead for Weslaco. And later on, it was Jeremy Coronado for the Panthers. He scored on a 7-yard run. So that sums it up. A lot different than last week when 75 points were scored by Weslaco. They had 10 touchdowns in the game, a safety and a field goal. Obviously a much lower scoring affair today than when they faced Donna North last week. Well, Weslaco will be getting the ball to begin the second half, and they will be defending the south field, south end zone, and that is where the scoreboard is. Of course, Bobcats, their colors are red, white, and blue, basically white-based road uniforms tonight. Panthers in their purple. So, Carlos, have you enjoyed the first 30 minutes?
Well, yeah. I mean, anytime your team is up, you got to be happy about that. But this is a tough Edinburg team. I watched a little bit of the Edinburg versus Weslaco East game. They ended up winning 21-0. You got a defensive touchdown in that game. I think the Panthers going to have to try to get some help somewhere because they're having a hard time putting points on the board.
And the Panthers will get the ball, as we mentioned, and it is going to be taken on the kickoff and moved to about the 32-yard line by Raul Camarena. And my understanding is, speaking of Weslaco East...
Starting lineup is brought to you by Copyright, Weslaco's digital print, photography, and design shop.
Jacob Cavazos, Jr.
Aiden Knob, Jr.
Devin Denna, Senior. Jaden Cavazos, Jr. Jay Granados, Jr.
Isaac Verrier, Senior.
And there's part of the starting lineup. We were talking about Weslaco East. They are leading Academides, I believe, about 13-0 at halftime. And right now, first play, big play by Jacob Cavazos. He's at the 30, he's at the 20, he's at the 15, he's at the 10, and he is going to go all the way for a score. And I'm going to tell you what, that was a big run of about 66 yards to open the second half.
First play of the half, fired up. Weslaco Panthers come out. A huge hole, and when you have an X factor like Jacob Cavazos, let him have the ball as many times as possible. You saw the breakaway speed that he had there, nearly untouched to the end zone. I'm surprised, actually, that the safety or whoever that person was able to nick him there towards the end. There you see the raw speed of the junior quarterback.
And the extra point attempt is blocked. So it's only the second, though, extra point attempt Martinez has missed this year. He's got well over 30 extra points that he's connected on. So, again, those things happen, but a very, very accurate kicker. And talking about Cavazos, that's going to be his 10th rushing touchdown of the season. That's significant in this game specifically because Herlin Benavides, he has rushed for 10 also.
Yeah.
So both now of these two top backs in the Valley have rushed for 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, the Panthers, they needed that, only up 10-0. I know that Coach Salinas was a little frustrated, especially with some penalties there in the second quarter, and he'd like to see a cleaner football game. At this part of the season, you don't want those errors that took place with the offensive line or whatever the case was, and he wants to finish this game strong. You're up 16-0. It's not over with by any stretch of the imagination, but a little bit more breathing room for Weslaco.
So, Cavazos again.
Got a beautiful harvest moon coming up there over the stadium.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
In this week before Halloween or week of Halloween coming up. That's a beautiful moon out there. I'm sure our cameraman will find it here in a little bit.
So Jake Cavazos, I'm sure, has over 700 yards rushing this season. And
I also just want to thank you, Scott, on behalf of K-West, just you being a trooper here. I know we lost Clay Williams, who moved out of the Valley. And just thank you for doing your work here for us here at K-West and doing all the play-by-play duties for the Weslaco Panthers this year. So I just wanted to take this opportunity since there was a little lull right there in the game. And you're doing a tremendous job. I know you do a lot of traveling across Texas because of the different duties that you have, but thank you very much.
Well, thank you. It's an honor working with you, Carlos, and I appreciate working with K-West. Great crew, and it's always a lot of fun. So, again, the Bobcats will start, and they've got the ball at the 15-yard line, and it's going to be 1st and 10. There we see Matt Cruz, and he is going to start the second half. Going to hand it off this time, and it's going to be a short carry. Benavides, not much carry at all. And I got the words mixed up a little bit. Doesn't Benvenides mean like welcome?
Benvenidos,
So I guess
Benavides.
Yeah, Benavides. Yeah,
Benavides.
Yeah.
So it's,
I knew it's close to that. That's what. I have taken some Spanish classes, believe it or not.
But you know what? You're pretty close.
I try. So I took a lot of them. I actually took 3 years in high school, believe it or not. You wouldn't know it when you listen to the broadcast, but I actually did.
You do a great job, Scott.
Well, it's 2nd down and 9. So, again, a short run and not much at all. Benavides on the carry. He's the workhorse. Last week, 37 carries. So we're going to have maybe a gain of a yard, 3rd down and 8. Ball at the 27-yard line of the Bobcats. That was actually the nickname of my college team. I went to Ohio University. In Athens, Ohio, they were the Bobcats, but they were green and white, the colors. So, again, basically out of the shotgun formation. There's Cruz, and he is going to be sacked, gang tackled. Big loss.
Yeah, it's the pressure by that defensive line once again, led by Sam Perez. There he is, big old number 7'9", coming up off of the pile right there to make the tackle. And you'll see the big push that he has and just stays with it. He's able to bring down the quarterback. Big play here by the Panthers.
And Benito Juarez also in on the tackle. I remember he had 3.5 sacks last year, so he's definitely always around where it needs to be. And bad snap on the punt. And Weslaco's going to get that ball, what, at about the 1 yard line? I see.
Same thing happened.
Yeah.
Remember that game against Economides where it was a bad snap to the punter, and if they have so much speed that if you just bobble the ball for a moment, and he bobbled it for a while there, that Roy Trevino was able to come up there and then Knab picks it up and thinks he goes in for the score, but that's Peyton Knab, your running back, playing special teams right there. We talked about the best players play all over the field, but you cannot make these types of mistakes against such a speedy team like the Weslaco Panthers. That's a huge break for the Panthers right here at this point of the game.
Raymond Quintanilla is the punter for the Bobcats. So 1st and goal to go at the 1. Jacob Cavazos hands it off. And this time it looks like the defense will say no go, at least for a touchdown on that initial play. So 2nd down and goal to go coming up. And it was Jeremy Coronado on the rush. Has the only touchdown of the game in the first half at least. 16-0 is the score. Panthers over the Bobcats. Coronado rushed for a couple last week in the big victory over Donna North. Cavazos has it. This time he is going to try a pass. And wide open for a 1 yard touchdown reception is Rolando Barones.
Yeah, he goes up there. He's a basketball player. Barones goes up there. There's a couple of receivers in the area to make that catch. Barones snatches that one out of the air, goes up high to bring it down. Watch it again, as there was 2 receivers in the area, but he said, you know what, I'll go ahead and take it. Also out there was the other, Isaac Villarreal. Both tight ends were in the area.
And Villarreal has a touchdown reception this year. For Barones, that is going to be his 4th catch of the year. I think he has 4 catches for 32 yards. Last week, 1 catch for 7 yards. Extra point attempt is up and good. So the Panthers now are ahead of the Bobcats 23-0 as they come out and score 2 touchdowns. And we are barely 3 minutes into the ball game. So again, making a statement, I guess you could say, Carlos, to begin the second half.
Well, we talked about getting points on some other phase of the game because points were hard to come by on the offensive side of the ball. So they make something happen, and there's the shot I was talking about.
Oh.
Beautiful harvest moon here. A few days before Halloween. And but then they get the special teams help set up that touchdown, obviously, with the ball on the 1 yard line. But that's how dangerous this team is. Even when you're not playing at your best, when you have athletes that Coach Salinas has on the field, good things will happen. Cavazos with the big play, and then special teams coming up huge, quickly in the backfield and tackling the punter.
One thing we do want to mention, again, you capitalize on everything. Eric Cano is not playing tonight for Edinburg. One of their top players. So far this year, 7 catches for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. So they're missing him at the receiver position. And just thought I might mention that for some of the Edinburg fans. And we see many festive fans out there, Carlos, don't we, tonight?
Yeah, it's the dance cam that's going on right now, and always a good atmosphere. Got a lot of reunions that are going on right now. Class of 99, 89, all the 9s, 2009. They're all here celebrating their respectful reunions and homecomings.
So the ball is brought up that time to about the 30-yard line. Jalen Garza, I believe, had it. 1st down and 10 for the Bobcats. And if you're the coach, how do you keep your team together for the Bobcats? All of a sudden, this shocking turn of events for them after they played well in the first half.
Well, Coach Lea has done a good job. They had a lot of injuries all year long, have the Bobcats, so he's done a good job of keeping his team together. I don't recall them if they were predicted to make the playoffs this year, but they're making a run at it, and I think they still, even if they lose tonight, they're down by 23 points right now. Even if they lose tonight, they still might have a chance, although they still have to play Vela, and that would give them another loss.
Yep, I believe that's next week. We'll double check the schedule in a little bit. We know Weslaco plays Weslaco East next week. I know they're happy to have Matt Cruz back. Matthew Cruz, their quarterback, after missing several games with a knee injury. And they're going to see if they can get something going this time. And how do you like playing the Edinburg teams this year? It's a whole new thing with redistricting.
Well, it's when you play against that 32-6A, which you got, your Harlingtons, Los Fresnos, and San Miguel, it's almost like a meat grinder. It's
Ball
almost
was
like
set late. Going to give him another 1st down.
Okay. You know, it's almost like playing in that old black and blue division where every week. Now this, I think Edinburg district is not as competitive, but I think give it a couple more years or maybe even next year, and it's going to be a totally different story.
All right, so first down and pickup of about 5. Benavides on the carry. You see the replay. Benavides up the middle. Gets a few yards, but finally brought down. Nice stop, looked like Roy Trevino doing the job. Second down and 5. Ball at the 36-yard line. Benavides this time will try to sweep around the left side, and nothing going. Good lateral pursuit by the defensive line of Weslaco.
The defense has done well all season long. They were going to be a little bit more of a, people weren't sure how that defense was going to perform this year for the Weslaco Panthers. Lost a lot of players from a year ago, and the ones they had coming back weren't, you know, known. They weren't known players, but they have made a name for themselves here. You know, with the Sam Pettises and the Cesc Sanchez's of the world, Jason Gonzalez, Roy Trevino, Calderon, also playing in the backfield. Also want to mention Jaden Kanab, the senior, is having a good year as well.
Got to mention that Adrian Garza was just helped off the field limping. He is actually the backup quarterback. He's the guy that had been playing quarterback while Cruz was out. So hopefully for the Bobcats, not a serious injury.
Yeah, he's your slot receiver. He's one of their go-to guys.
You just never know with injuries. And I'll mention why I said that in a moment. Third down and 5. Back to pass. It's Cruz, looks upfield, and knocked away at the last second. And the receiver looks like he's shaken up. There's going to be a flag. Intended receiver was Jalen Garza. Back guarding was Axel Camarena, who we mentioned has several interceptions this year.
Well, they're going to call a flag here on the safety. I'm not sure who it was. It come up. It looked like a clean hit. I'm going to call defenseless receiver. I'm not sure what they're calling it nowadays, but I didn't see any blow to the head at all, but he was hit. Let's see what the call is.
Personal foul, hitting a defensive player, number 25 on the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, and that was a big third down stop there, but with the penalty, moves them 15 yards down the field.
Yeah, we're talking about injuries. Last night I was at the Texans game, and Will Fuller, he got knocked down in the end zone and just kind of walked off under his own power. It took a couple moments, but now, you know, I heard rumors he might have some kind of MCL or ACL or some kind of season-ending injury. We'll have to find out more as the Texans release information.
Yeah, and he had a good game last night as well.
Oh, yeah, and I mentioned in that game one of the greatest receptions I ever saw that didn't count by guess who? We'll tell you in a moment. All right, it's going to be 1st and 10 around midfield. Benavides has it, and he is knocked down at the 46-yard line. So again, Bobcats trying to get something going here.
I want to say good luck to our band. The Weslaco Panther Corps will be on the road tomorrow at Laredo Student Activity Center for regional competition. They picked up a 1 at last week's pigskin competition. Now they move on to area competition with a chance to go to state.
Yay! Always like the bands. Always enjoy the halftime performances here. 2nd down and 7.
Is that Sam Pettis again?
Yeah.
Wreaking havoc in the backfield. We talked about him during the pregame and how he takes on black blockers and still is able to get to the backfield. Watch him do it again here, Scott. So strong in the upper body, good leg strength as well. He moves those big guards back and still makes the tackle. Remember when he did that against Vela?
Yeah.
we compared it to Warren Sapp.
Yes, we did. Tejeda, Brian Tejeda, I'm saying that right, Brian Tejeda. He's in there and he loses 1 on the play. He does some running for this team. It's not all just the one guy, but he loses 1 on the play. So we expected to see him, but he hasn't got in here till the second half, at least to carry the ball. So Cruz has it, and he gets the ball over midfield to his receiver, who's knocked out of bounds right away. And it's going to be 3rd down 8. Is there a flag? All right.
This might be holding against the Bobcats. A lot of pressure
being
applied by
got
Weslaco.
So we see it.
Holding on the offense, number 65. That's a 10-yard penalty for the previous spot. Still 3rd down.
Alani's then reception negated. Someone told me that maybe Ricky, the receiver, just caught the ball. His dad had been a big football star in the Valley.
Alanis?
Yeah.
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 There was an Alanis from Edinburg who was a tremendous football player.
That may have been this may be his son. Again, these are me talking to people. I'm just talking.
Well,
to
I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you confirm that?
No, I've not confirmed this.
Okay.
It's a possibility. I'm saying.
Yeah,
someone told me that. Yeah. So
back in the day, I don't know if they're related at all.
Right. All right, so now it is going to be 3rd down and 18, midway through the 3rd quarter. Panthers leading 23-0 after the penalty. And back to pass is Cruz. Steps up in the pocket. He feels the pressure. 3 guys are after him and gets out of bounds right before he was greeted on the sidelines by Jacob Bailly.
You know, another former athlete who played for the Edinburg Bobcats is Coach Michael Salinas.
Yes, that's true.
Former quarterback for the Edinburg Bobcats as well, back in the 90s. And was a pretty good athlete. Went on to Texas A&M Kingsville after that.
He still looks in good shape. You know, I'd have him on my intramural team. So it's 4th down and 18. No gain on that play. And it looks like there's some kind of false start, or maybe a defensive encroachment. Something happened there before the punt.
I believe the defense jumped just a little bit too early on the play.
All right, so that would give 5 yards up the field. Let's see if the official will give us the call in a moment.
Dead ball. Offsides on the defense. The 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
So to make 4th down and 13. Except this time the ball is at the 48-yard line of the Bobcats. Let's see the band. And again, another flag.
I don't know if that's going to go against Weslaco, though.
A lot of laundry on the field.
There was a little bit of movement there, but I think the guys in the white jerseys moved first. We'll have to see this is getting a little sloppy here.
Official not yet telling us the call.
Dead ball, offsides, number 32 in the defense. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
I think the guys in the white jerseys moved first.
So now it's 4th down and 8. Ball is now in Weslaco territory.
They're going to send Roy Trevino back to return this one.
47-yard line. And Trevino will get it.
Jaden.
Or actually, it's Jaden Cavazos. And he is up at the 40. He's at midfield. And finally, the defender gets the angle and knocks him out of bounds.
A little stutter step there in the middle of his run there, did Cavazos. But they were able to bring him down. Nice return, good blocking as well. And Jaden does a good job here. The speedy wide receiver, or the slot receiver for the Weslaco Panthers, gets his hands on the football, just sees the lane, and then boom, he just bursts right through there. Some good blocking. Watch a little stutter step right here. He stops, tries to fake out the man who's trying to chase him down.
Well, and remember, that's the punter, Raymond Quintanilla, but let's not be fooled by that. He's also the 2nd leading tackler on the team on defense with 78. Ethan Villanueva led the team coming into this game with 82 tackles. And there's Peyton Knab with the football. That's 2nd down and 10 coming up. Let's see the replay. Knab trying to sweep the right side, tripped up, lost his balance. And actually, they say a loss of 2 on the play. So ball will be moved back to the 41-yard line. Weslaco still in Bobcats territory. Cavazos back to pass that is. Pump fakes. And there's going to be an interference penalty. Jaden Cavazos, the intended receiver. Jaden having another game where we'll see if he can make a big play. Does it so often. Very dangerous receiver out there.
Pass interference on the defense, number 20. The 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
All right. Impedes his progress while he's trying to run his route. Did the defender right here, Cavazos. If they don't stop him, that's in for a touchdown.
That would have been his 4th of the season. Cavazos coming into the game, 20 catches for 301 yards.
Easy call.
So 1st and 10. Ball over at the 26-yard line in Bobcats territory. Motion by Cavazos, but Jacob Cavazos keeps the ball. He spins around, and he is going to get down to about the 15-yard line. So all of a sudden, he picks up 12 on that play and the first down.
What a move by Cavazos, because first you got the little cutback. He's going there. All his blockers on that left-hand side, but he sees the lanes are actually to the right-hand side because of the Bobcats run the play, and then a little spin move to pick up another 5-6 yards.
So 1st down and 10. Ball near the 15-yard line. Jacob Cavazos back to pass, drops back to his own 25, and he will loft it into the end zone and wide open, and getting the big touchdown catch on that play is number 80. Nice job, and let's give credit on this particular catch to Isaac Villarreal.
Other tight end makes the touchdown catch now. And this was a throwback. This is a little misdirection play where everyone goes to the right-hand side, and Cavazos looks back to his left. He was under pressure, got rid of the football. I don't know how he did. Floated it up there. And the only one is there is the big old number 80, Isaac Villarreal, for the score.
And Villarreal, he had a touchdown earlier this year. This is not his first one. Extra point attempt is up, and it is good. And Villarreal has only 6 catches according to my stats this season, but 2 of them are for touchdowns. So a third of his catches are for scores.
But watch the play once again. Cavazos rolling. Yeah, they don't use the tight ends that much. In that red zone, they do. And it's wide open. It's just a misdirection play. Everyone goes in one direction, and he bleeds out to the left-hand side.
He lofted it 30 yards. I mean, as far as
and I thought I actually thought Cavazos was going to be sacked on that play. He got rid of it right before he got whacked.
Jacob, fun to watch running the ball. Fun to watch passing the ball. Doesn't matter what he's doing out there. He is exciting. And I've got a couple different statistics. I got him for about 17 touchdowns this year. Something like that, passing. A bunch, let's put it that way. He's thrown for a bunch of touchdowns this year. And just fun to watch. And I believe he also has a rushing touchdown in this game. So most games, I think, Carlos, this year he's passed and at least rushed for 1 touchdown each. Been consistent on that. So we'll get ready. Yeah, the 66-yard run, that's right. So, all right. Flex cam. Don't put the camera my way on that one. Okay. We are now getting ready for the kickoff. And it is going to come down at about the 15-yard line. And a nice run over to midfield, actually into Weslaco territory. And on that particular return, I believe it is Antoine Woodard.
Yeah, I saw him earlier. I was down on the field. He's a big, tall, wide receiver for the Edinburg Bobcats, or I'm sorry, defensive cornerback for the Weslaco, for the Edinburg Bobcats. He looks like an athlete out there. It's a nice little return for him.
It is. Down to the Weslaco 45-yard line. 1st and 10. Panthers up 30-0. Bobcats bringing a good crowd tonight. Appreciate all the fans coming down from Edinburg. Handoff. And this time, just a few yards. So we'll have 2nd down coming up. Well, I'll tell you what, Carlos. This has been a very good start of the year for Weslaco.
Yeah.
I don't know if that many people expect the record to be this at this point. But we're very pleased.
I think people thought they'd be improved. I don't think they would think that they
fouls,
have one
one
left.
on the offense, one on the defense, unsportsmanlike. Dead ball fouls. Number 9 on each team. Those are the first unsportsmanlike penalties.
The 9s.
All right. It's going to be 1st down and 10. And the ball right now is at the 45-yard line of Weslaco. 3:25 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. And And I think next week, technically, it's a Weslaco East home game, right?
Yeah, Weslaco East will be on the home side. The Weslaco Panthers will be on the visitor side.
Okay.
We expect a pretty big crowd for that game. It's always a big game, no matter what the records are. But I think this one, with both teams being playoff contenders, I think it's going to be a little bit more interesting.
And isn't Weslaco, like in the Valley, ranked 6th and East 7th? Right. All right, so you can see that they're both top 10 teams now in the Valley. And ball is handed off. And this time, ball will get down inside the 40-yard line. And let's see who's... Tejeda has it, Brian Tejeda. And it's going to be 3rd and 9. Jaden Knab forcing him out. All right. And now they have a new quarterback.
Caleb Mojardo?
At least for that last play. So he's going to pass ahead and a short screen pass. And it will be short of the first down. No gain really at all. Jaime Zamora. And Zamora has had a pretty nice season. They don't do that much passing, as we mentioned, because Cruz has been injured a lot. Zamora coming into this game, 7 catches for 129 yards and 1 touchdown. Last week, 1 catch for 5 yards. So it's going to be 4th and 5. Getting ready for the punt. High punt. Going to bounce at the 20. But takes a Weslaco roll and goes to about the 25-yard line, where the Panthers will start 1st and 10.
I think Camarena had an opportunity to block that one, but he didn't want to risk.
There's a superintendent.
He didn't want to risk getting a penalty. Yep, there's our superintendent, Dr. Priscilla Canales, doing an excellent job here at the Weslaco ISD as the superintendent. One of her big initiatives is Read, Dream, Achieve, Lit for Literacy. And she's done a very good job of making that a focal point for all of our students. The more you read, that's the foundation for education, is what she says. And if you read, Scott, what she says, just 20 minutes a day, that exposes you to 1.8 million words in a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Jeremy Coronado, not much running. Well, I talk with people around here in the stands before the games, and everybody speaks so highly of her. I guess how motivated she is, what a hard worker she is.
Wow, look at that shot right there. Beautiful shot there by our camera guys down in the field. Val Zamora and Don Ramirez, who are down there manning those 2 cameras down in the field for us on the 20-yard line.
2nd down and 11. And this time, screen pass. Going to be for a loss, but there's a face mask, I believe. Well, we'll have to wait and see.
I don't know if the flag was thrown on that play, but it looked like it from our end.
Jay Granados, there he is. He was the receiver. Let's watch the replay and see. Well, it was, I think it was more than close, but depends where the angle of the officials were. So loss of 2, 2nd down and 13. Back to pass, Cavazos. And it's broken up. It was Jaden Cavazos, the intended receiver, and Manny Salinas back on defense. So 4th down and 13. Expect a punt coming up.
Right at the end of the 3rd quarter, I'm going to have to take off here, Scott, and get ready for the post-game show.
I got you. I understand. Appreciate you coming up and helping. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. We'll see you next week, see what happens. Yeah. And then the Panthers have it. The Panthers are lucky. They have all 3 of the next 2 games, or the last 2 games, here at Bobby Lackey Stadium.
Beautiful place.
Yeah.
And I do want to say, when we were down the road last week, that the people were very nice over at Donna North.
Benny LaPrade Stadium, absolutely.
Yeah, everybody was nice.
They're very nice over there. There's a great, there used to be a rival. There is a rivalry between Weslaco and Donna. They haven't played each other in a few years now, but yeah, the Mid-Valley communities are always very receptive to Weslaco, and we do the same for them.
And again, look forward to going back there again. A few years ago, I was at a Donna Donna North game. And that's quite a rivalry and quite exciting. And of course, I can't wait to see Weslaco East. I've been to that game before here, and never ceases to amaze me all the people that come out and really, you know, though it's a big rivalry game, everybody acts well and is just pushing for their team. So handoff, Benavides gets by one tackler and gets a few yards before he's spun down.
That time it wasn't Sam Perez, but Adrian Fuentes who was in the backfield in a hurry, wreaking havoc. He nearly was able to bring down the running back on the play.
Caleb Gajardo still in a quarterback. Well, remember, I don't know what the deal is with Cruz, but remember Garza got shaken up, the backup quarterback, limped off the field earlier, so they may be down to their third-string quarterback, and we don't have any word on. We never saw Cruz come off the field like he was injured or anything. Back to pass, little screen pass, and it looked like maybe a couple of the receivers kind of crossed each other up. Evan Ramirez and Jamie Zamora. So it's going to be 3rd down and 9, 5 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Panthers ahead of the Bobcats, 30-0. Everybody staying around. Like I say, a beautiful halftime show at the homecoming.
Yeah, and we'll have our post-game show here after the game. We'll talk to a few players, probably talk to those 2 tight ends who both scored touchdowns tonight.
Give them some publicity.
Give them some pub, absolutely.
Yep, after all their blocking. Long pass lofted up. Is it going to be an interception? Oh, Trevino went up there, couldn't handle it, but maybe there'll be pass interference against the defense. We'll have to wait and see. And we see right now one of the Panthers trying to plead his case that he did not interfere with the receiver. But many times that is to no avail. And we'll get the word from the official.
Defensive holding number 2, the 10-yard penalty makes it a 1st down.
So the Bobcats will have a 1st down to begin the next quarter. And Carlos, before you go, just one final word. I don't need to leave. What are your impressions of this game?
Well, I think the Panthers came out and, you know, they put themselves in a position to score. As far as, you know, staying aggressive, taking care of themselves. I know it wasn't the cleanest game that Coach Salinas would have liked, but they took advantage of some of the miscues by the Edinburg Bobcats here tonight. Next week will be a much bigger game. I think it's going to be a little bit more intense when you play against your crosstown rivals, and I think the Panthers will be a little bit more focused and ready to go next week. But I think tonight, in its natural human tendency,
we have an accepted defensive penalty, so we have 1 on-time down.
Okay, well, we have not ended the third quarter yet, I guess.
Yeah, so I think the Panthers, I think they played well tonight. I think they played very, very good. When you have superstars like, Jacob Cavazos on your team, it really does help a lot. But I think Coach Salinas would have liked it. They would have executed a little bit better, especially on the offensive side of the ball. The defense continues to play very, very well, but offensively, I think there was a little bit of lack of focus tonight, maybe. And but that'll change next week.
So 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line of Weslaco, and going to be a nice run, about 15 yards that time. And that will actually end the third quarter, I believe, now. So, again, we appreciate Carlos Robledo helping us with the color analyzation of the game, and he will go downstairs and will enjoy his post-game show with Mike Gonzalez. And you can see the run that time. And Brian Tejada in there with the run. We do have an injury, it looks like, on the field. Players shaken up for Weslaco. Hopefully nothing too serious.
Please reset the game clock to 12 minutes. That was an untimed down.
So trying to get all the timing worked out by the officials. And last night I was over in Houston for the Texans game. Pretty amazing. The Texans start out 0-3, but now have won their last 5 games. And did a nice job against the Miami Dolphins. And now player coming off the field under his own power. And that's good to see. Applause from the crowd. And that was Gabriel Gonzalez, a junior cornerback. So hopefully he's okay. But anyhow, the Texans, Brock Osweiler, their former quarterback, was the signal caller. And, you know, a couple years ago, he won a playoff game. He was the starting quarterback a couple years ago for the Texans. Won a playoff game, but people never did like him. Came over from Denver, had been the backup to Peyton Manning for the Broncos, and then, of course, Peyton wound up winning the Super Bowl. Brock was put on the bench, and now he's over in Miami. And Brock had a few decent moments, but basically nothing special last night against the Texans. And they won, but as you mentioned, Will Fuller suffered some sort of knee injury. Haven't heard how serious, but we'll find out soon. And now, once again, it's a running play, and it's going to go down to about the 10-yard line. Nice run on that play, a gain about 20. Ryan Tejada doing the job. So it's going to be first down and 10. We'll see where they actually mark the ball. Looks like it will be at the 9. So it'll be first and goal to go. We see Tejada moving up the middle. Finally, a couple players converge on him, and he is brought down from behind on that play. And ball is handed off. And this time it's fumbled, and it's going to be Weslaco coming up with it. Big play, big fumble recovery. And that time it's Raul Camarena. But now, are they going to say the player was down? Have to wait and see. I guess so, no fumble. So it'll be 2nd and 9. Well, we got excited about it. Let's see the replay. Hand off. And a lot of the fans unhappy with that call. They feel it was a fumble by Tejada. Ball handed up again. Down near the 5-yard line. Tejada on the carry again. Picks up about 3 or 4. Let's see the replay. Tejada up the middle. Okay, this is the replay of the fumble. Well, you can judge for yourself, all right? So, we've got 3rd down and 7. I guess ball near the 6, 3rd and goal. Tejada again, and he is going to get down near the 5-yard line. Just trying to run it up the middle. Not enough offensive surge, though, to get much on that play. We are in the 4th quarter now, 30 seconds in. And it's going to be 4th and goal to go at the 5-yard line. Tejada doing the running right now. Earlier, Herlin Benavides did most of it. They're going to go for it. Pass this time, a wide open receiver, and it is a good reception for a touchdown. Jaime Zamora gets his 2nd touchdown of the season, a 5-yard reception. So the shutout is over with 10:01 remaining in the 4th quarter. Again, Zamora, a 5-yard touchdown reception from Caleb Gajardo. Extra point attempt coming up. Panthers lead 30-6. Emmanuel Duran will attempt the extra point. It is up, and it's good. So the Panthers lead the Bobcats 30-7. And look to see the fans all being happy. And again, Weslaco doing a good job on defense, although they gave up that 1 touchdown. Keep in mind it is in the 4th quarter. Looking so far at how the Bobcats have done this year, they started out beating Harlingen South 34-21, then beat Rivera 44-12. Next victim was Juarez Lincoln at 22-13. Edinburg got by Mercedes 45-18. Then Weslaco East gave Edinburg their only loss of the season, and that was, I believe, the district opener for them at 21-0. I believe it was the Mercedes game in which Matt Cruz got injured late in that game. Edinburg then defeated Edinburg North 31-14. And last week, an exciting game with Economides. Edinburg winning 24-21. Herlin Benavides scoring late in the game, 4th and goal to go at the 1-yard line with about 3 minutes left to win the game. Actually, in that game, Edinburg had got out to a 14-0 lead, but trailed at halftime, 21-14. Of course, Economides, I believe they have about 4 shutouts this year and lost another game 7-0. They've been a team that's made the most of their opportunities. Ball is kicked off. And actually, coming up with at that time is Seth Sanchez. So Weslaco will begin 1st and 10. As we mentioned, both teams 6-1 coming into this game. Panthers 1-1 in district. Edinburg haven't played one more game in district. They are 2-1. Last week, Weslaco scoring 75 points. You know, one of the things about that was a lot of players got to play, a lot of players got to score. Peyton Cannot with the ball, and he is going to get over the 40-yard line. So he's going to pick up about 11 on that rush, and it's going to be 1st down and 10. There's a little lady with a pretty smile, enjoying the homecoming festivities. So the ball will be marked at the 42-yard line in Weslaco territory, moving toward the north end zone where the screen is. And I believe we do have timeout. And we talked about DeAndre Hopkins, I believe, earlier, that amazing catch. If you did not see that catch from last night, you need to try to find it somewhere. The one that didn't count because I guess there were offsetting penalties. I guess they said Hopkins pushed off, but he kind of caught the ball one-handed and then kind of put it under his leg and kept control of it as he went down. And I've seen a lot of football. That might have been the most amazing catch I've ever seen. And afterwards, the head coach of the Texans, Bill O'Brien, he said he saw a similar catch like that back in, I guess, 2012, whenever his first year was with the Texans. A similar catch that DeAndre had that was ruled no good because of a penalty. So DeAndre Hopkins, maybe the best receiver right now in the NFL. All right, handoff that time. Jacob Cavazos still in a quarterback. Peyton Canab gained a couple yards. Also showing some good sportsmanship up there as helps the tackler up. Emmanuel Duran, I believe, is also the punter. So we're going to have 2nd down and 8. We'll see if Weslaco runs the ball a lot here at this point in the game. Cavazos fakes the pass. Now he's going to keep it, and he is going to get into Bobcat territory down near the 45-yard line, and that is going to be a 1st down. So he gets about 9 or 10 on that rush. But the main thing is the clock continues to run. No huddle. About 9 minutes remaining. And this time handed off to Peyton Canab. And he's going to keep his balance. Another 1st down. And he'll be out near the 32-yard line. So picks up about 16 on that play. Chewing up chunks of real estate. And rolling off lots of ticks on the clock. Though that play went out of bounds and stopped it. Now they get started again. 1st and 10. And this time the Jets sweep. And Jaden Cavazos, not much. And it'll be 2nd down. Remember, Weslaco East here next Friday. Season's running down quickly. It seems like just yesterday it was the opening game over in McAllen against Nicky Rowe. Cavazos this time pump fakes, throws it downfield, and overthrows Denna. Denna, the intended receiver, Devin Denna. And we'll have 3rd down and 11. Denna, injured, was out for a little bit. but always fun to watch. Good on special teams. Good as a receiver. Talented athlete. So ball near the 35-yard line. Cavazos back to pass, feels the pressure, now rolls to his right, and will go out at the 36. Loses about a yard, but wisely, not finding anybody open on the play, will go out of bounds, making it 4th and 11. Panthers up 30-7 over the Bobcats. Although playing the Edinburg teams this year, the way the schedule works, Weslaco only makes one trip to Edinburg this year. Next year, of course, they'll make multiple trips. So, Jacob Cavazos back to punt the ball. He's at his 49-yard line. And it's going to bounce, and it will go out at about the 4-yard line. So the Bobcats will have to make quite a journey to get the ball upfield. And one of the notes this year, a guy from Texas, of course, I mentioned before I cover the Saints a lot at my work. And congratulations to Drew Brees this past weekend, defeating the Baltimore Ravens. He's originally from Austin, Texas. Actually was quite a tennis player as well as a football player in high school. And the only team he had not defeated in the NFL was the Baltimore Ravens. And Sean Payton also is head coach. He's won a Super Bowl, but he had never defeated the Ravens either. And I think most people had the Ravens favored last week. But Saints came back and won. And so now Drew Brees, among his accomplishments, has defeated every team in the NFL and also gone over 500 touchdown passes in his career. I believe guys like Tom Brady have done it. And now we'll have 1st down and 10. Ball over at the 5-yard line. And another running play, picks up about 3. 3 on that play as we have 2nd down come up. Jathan Gonzalez on the stop. And 2nd down comes up. Tejada on the carry, picks up 3. Look at that crown. All right, reminds me of an old Imperial margarine commercial. Another play, another short gain. Look like among those in on the tackle. It was Gonzalez again, Jathan Gonzalez. Tejada again on the carry. So the 2 meet up again. No go for Tejada, and it's 3rd and 7. Clock approaching 7 minutes remaining. Now the moon up high. It's smaller now. It's fun watching the moon in its different looks tonight. Fall moon. All right. Tejada again, and he'll sweep the right side. He's going to get a 1st down. He's going to get up near the 20-yard line. So nice job by him. Picks up about 12 on the play. And the Bobcats will move the chains. Good blocking by the line, as you see on the replay. Finally, out of bounds. First and 10. Approaching the midway point here in the quarter. And there is the quarterback, Caleb Gajardo. He's played a lot this 4th quarter. Another handoff. And Tejada, not much on that play. Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9. I'll tell you, I wonder, don't know much about Caleb as far as him being a quarterback. I'm not sure I have any statistics on him throwing the ball, and maybe that's why they're not throwing the ball. They don't have the confidence in him doing it. This time, Tejada around the right side picks up a few. It's going to be 3rd down coming up.
Number 25,
Jake Espinosa in on the tackle. And it's going to be 3rd down, we'll give them maybe 3 on the play. So 3rd down and 6. Ball at the 24-yard line. But it's kind of strange. We're not seeing any passing at all. Of course, remember last week there wasn't much passing. But different quarterback in there for Edinburg. The main back last week, Benavides, rushed 37 times. And this time, there was maybe a thought of passing the ball, but a blitz and a big sack on that play. Jathan Gonzalez. Watch this. I think this was going to be the first maybe passing attempt of the day. I'm not even sure he wasn't going to just put it under his wing and run anyhow. But Jathan Gonzalez having none of that. That brings big smiles from the cheerleaders. And it also brings up a 4th and long. Looks like maybe about a 4th and 15. Punter out. Maybe partially blocked. And it rolls down near the 50-yard line. Jaden Cavazos has it. And he is going to get down to the 37. Great field position for Weslaco. But I believe the Panthers now obviously more concerned about running out the clock. So we'll have to see what the defense can do for the Bobcats. So far this season, they've given up 1,028 yards rushing, 819 passing, 1,847 yards they've given up. They give up an average of 263.8 yards per game. And we do have, it looks like, a substitution at quarterback now for Weslaco, as you just saw on the screen. And it's Hanks coming in right now. Devin Hanks, and he happens to be a junior. And Hanks, so far this year, has completed 4 out of 5 of his passes for 33 yards and a touchdown. Last week, 3 of 3 for 28 yards, and also threw a touchdown pass to Dante Castillo. Castillo getting his first touchdown in that route last week. And again, that was from Devin Hanks. So it looks like Jacob Cavazos is done with 5 minutes approximately left in the game. Hanks will hand it off, and it's one of the backup running backs too, one of the Jessies, Jesse Hernandez, and he spins around and almost gets a first down. So we'll probably see now at running back for the remainder of the game, Jesse Hernandez, number 21, and Jesse Perez, the number 20.
Holding on the offense, number 32. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul, still first down.
And Hernandez, remember last week, had a 55-yard run for a touchdown. Also a 39-yard run, I believe, for a touchdown in the second half. So he had a couple long touchdown runs. And I believe earlier in the season had something like maybe, was it 81-yard run? So Hernandez has had some big runs. And it's first down and 10. Actually, a little longer than that because of the penalty. Ball handed off once again. Not much yardage that time. Again, Hernandez with the ball. Hernandez on the season, 15 carries for 233 yards and 3 touchdowns. Last week, 6 carries for 137 yards and 2 touchdowns. And again, the reason why his numbers are so high, every time he gets a touchdown, it's a long run. Loss on that play, though, 1 2nd down 11. Was the defense drawn off sides? We'll have to see in a minute as there's a flag.
Dead ball. Ball start on the offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Of course, Jesse Perez, if he gets in, number 20, he had a 32-yard touchdown run last week. And on the season, he has 20 carries for 105 yards and a touchdown. Last week, he had 10 carries for 80 yards. Like I said last week, a lot of people got in, got a lot of experience, a lot of playing time. Hanks has the ball, and he is going to run, spin around, and he's spun out at the 38-yard line of the Bobcats. Clock continues to run. We'll be approaching the 3-minute mark in a moment. There's the Panthers mascot along with the cheerleaders. That's the kind of Panther I like to meet. Don't want to meet any of the live variety just wandering around, that's for sure. Unless it's in a zoo. Okay. 3rd down and 12, gain of 4 on that last play. There's a friendly Panther, I like that. Back to pass is Hanks, and he gets a reception. Nice job. Hauling in the ball is Dante Castillo, the guy that he tied up with last week on the touchdown pass. And that's going to be a gain of about 10, making it 4th down and 2. There's a young man. My time to wave? Yes, it is, son. Again, fans always have a little bigger smiles when there's this kind of score. And there is another timeout on the field. With the young quarterback, it's a good possibility that Coach Salinas just wants to talk to him. It's a good learning experience for him. It's not trying to run up the score or anything. And that's what I said last week, too, if you weren't part of the broadcast. When the team won 75-3, you know, I was saying, and there was a lot of running at the end. And you heard the numbers for Jesse Hernandez and Jesse Perez. They got a lot of chances to run the ball. And you can't tell the young men not to try to play, not to try to do the best they can. It wasn't like Coach Salinas was just airing out the ball all over the place. They were trying to run out the clock, but you got to get these guys in shape and ready to go because you never know when someone's going to go down. I remember last year, people had to step up. Peyton Knab went out in about the 3rd game of the season. So you're just trying to get your players some experience. And although the score is very lopsided from last week, I just believe it was the guys just trying to get some playing time. So Martinez is going to come out and attempt a 45-yard field goal. And let's see how it does. It's good. That may be his longest of the season. So Martinez good from 45 yards out. And that young man just continues to impress. He did mix an extra point tonight, but as many as had a hit this season, we're not going to get on him about that. The 45-yard field goal more than makes up for it. And it's now the Panthers leading 33-7. So Hernandez on the year, I believe he had a field goal earlier. I believe he is about 6 of 7, maybe in field goals. Just a solid foot. Fans having a good time. He had a 36-yarder earlier in the game. And that's valuable to know that Hernandez has the capabilities and the consistency not only to hit extra points, but field goals. Who knows in the last couple of games of the regular season or in the playoffs when that might be needed. And speaking of the young man, you see him out there on the field getting ready to kick off. Edinburg. A few different players in there tonight. By the way, Tejada, he's been doing most of the running in the second half. According to my stats, he's already probably rushed more in this game than he has all season. Coming into this game, 7 carries for 41 yards and 2 touchdowns. Last week, though, 3 carries, but -2 yards. Ball is kicked off. Going to be brought out. And brought up near midfield. Nice run. And the back will finally go out in Weslaco territory near the 42-yard line. So good return on the play. And we'll see who it is. I believe it's Sebastian Machialar. Hopefully he's all right. He's down for a moment. And while we have this moment, let us thank our KOS staff. Some are here tonight. Some are on the road with Weslaco East, but we appreciate all they do. We've got Mario Palacios, instant replay. Also Darlene Gracia, graphic artist. Joe Leal, audio technician. Don Ramirez, videographer. Val Zamora, videographer, giving us all these great pictures tonight. I think Vinny's on the road with Weslaco East, Vinny Berry, but he did a good job helping me last week when I was over at Donna North. And also Amadeus Barones, videographer, back at the office, taking care of all the paperwork. Mina Garcia, the K-West secretary, and of course, the guys getting ready to do the post-game show. And that would be Mike Gonzalez and the director, Carlos Robledo. He is the director of K-West, and I appreciate him taking time to help me out tonight. Had to leave a little early to get ready for the post-game show. And again, the injured player, I believe, got off the field under his own power, and we appreciate that. And of course, the man that runs all this stuff, keeps it all going together on game day, and Mike Palacios, our director, chief videographer. Appreciate his good work. Makes us all look good. And let's see what will happen here. Let's see if Tejada can make his team look good and get a few extra yards. So Tejada on the carry. We'll see where they mark it. He's going to get about maybe a first down. Might have got just the 10 he needed. Didn't get much more. Maybe 12 at most, but we'll call it a first down. So clock continues to move. 2 minutes remaining. Tejada again, trying to get his team some more points. And this time a gain of about 9. A little slow to get up. And in on the tackle, Jonathan Castillo. Strong safety, senior. You see the replay. Hard but clean hit. Second down and 1. And this time it'll be a fumble. And it's going to be picked up by Weslaco. It's a hot potato. Who's got it? Tejada had it. He was the runner. And then the ball got loose. And Weslaco gets it. Who's at the bottom of that pile? We'll see the replay. It looks like coming up with the ball, Aaron Brojas, senior. Okay, you can see. Scramble for the ball. But Brojas will get it for a moment. Adam Caveria looked like he might get it, the free safety. He was down. There are a lot of substitutes in now. Glad to see a lot of people getting a chance to play on homecoming. Hank's still a quarterback. So it's going to be 1st and 10 for Weslaco at their 22-yard line. Just trying to run out this clock. No more injuries. They lead 33-7. Noriega. I don't think Marco Noriega played tonight, but he was suited up. And we're going to take a knee, the victory formation. So we'll just run this thing out. And just 10 points in the first half. The 36 was good by Martinez. Also 7-yard run by Jeremy Coronado. Then to start out the second half, Jacob Cavazos with a 66-yard run. Orlando Barones then with a 1-yard touchdown reception. Isaac Variel with a 15-yard reception for a touchdown. Jaime Zamora had a 5-yard touchdown catch for the visitors. And then the long field goal, I believe 46 yards if I recall, by Martinez. And basically that's a recap of the scoring tonight. Carlos Robleta. And also Mike Gonzalez getting ready downstairs. Well, Coach Salinas, maybe those tight ends that score the touchdowns. Barones and Variel, they may be guests tonight. And we see that the Weslaco Panthers will go 7-1, 2-1 in district. Edinburg Bobcats, they'll fall to 6-2 and 2-2 in district. And time has run out, and that's the final score. Bobby Lackey Stadium, Weslaco, Texas. It's the Weslaco Panthers 33, Edinburg Bobcats 7. Bobcats, they will be going against Vela next Thursday night in Edinburg at 7 p.m. And next Friday, At 7:30, it's Weslaco East, the home team, against the Weslaco Panthers. So once again, Panthers over the Bobcats 33-7. Appreciate Carlos Robledo helping us out part of this game. We're going to join him and Mike Gonzalez in just moments on the sidelines. I'm Scott Harrison. Have a great weekend, everybody. This has been a K-West production.
Everybody, and welcome to the K-West postgame show, where it is a victory for the Weslaco Panthers on homecoming, winning by a final score of 33-7. Right here we have Coach Michael Salinas. And Coach, tell me a little bit about this game. You started off leading at the half 10-0, but in the second half y'all just blew things open.
Our defense played extremely well to start the ball game, and we didn't take advantage of some opportunities. Again, some of that is tribute to Edinburg High School. They did a good job defensively, and we didn't execute offensively. But talked to our guys about starting fast in the third quarter, and luckily they responded and did that for us.
Coach, as the play caller, what were your thoughts of Edinburg's defense? They came into this game among the best in the district, behind Weslaco High, Weslaco East. They're a pretty well-respected unit. Yeah, I got a lot of respect for Coach Leja and his staff and the job that they have done at Edinburg High School. We thought we could do some things, but we knew we were going to be challenged, and they proved that right tonight. We just got to work on our execution and eliminate some penalties offensively. But overall, I thought we had a pretty good team effort. We just got to play a little bit cleaner.
You got a couple of players on this football team who seem to have an extra gear. Jacob Cavazos, Jeremy Coronel, they had a big game tonight.
They did. Their number was called in some key situations, and they responded, but it took the other 10 guys to get it done. I think they know that, so we just got to continue to get better, continue to get healthy, and then chip away at this deal 1 week at a time, but we're fortunate that we came out with a victory tonight.
Hey, Coach, I know a few weeks ago it was a little emotional for you going up against a team that you used to coach at. However, I know tonight you went up against your alma mater, Edinburg High School, where you're a star quarterback over there. And I know you faced them in the past, but however, there's still got to be something in here that still feels a little funny, no?
Yeah, you're playing. I grew up in Edinburg. I was there for a number of years. My dad was a football coach there for a really long time, for about 15 years. So had a lot of roots in that community and had a really good experience there. But anytime you get to play your alma mater, it's special, and I'm just glad our kids came out and responded tonight.
So you're 3-1 now. Where are you now as far as playoffs? You qualified yet, or you still got 2 more games, but how are things looking?
We don't like to talk about it a whole bunch, but I think our guys needed to understand what was at stake today and what was in front of us. So if my math is right, I think tonight they clinched a spot in the playoffs.
Next week, we want to start talking about a big game against Weslaco East, because whether it's a playoff implications or not, it's always a big game against the Wildcats.
Yeah, last year being my first year in First and Aqua Bowl, it was a good experience. Obviously, those guys have done a great job. They've been in the playoffs consecutive years and done a really good job. Coach Burgett and his staff do a good job. So the challenge is going to be there for us. We just got to continue to get better, eliminate the distractions, keep the main thing, and then know that this is a good one, I think, for our community. We have 2 football teams in town that are competitive and doing really well. Proud of the kids from Weslaco, and this is an opportunity we have as a city and 2 schools to come out and put our best foot forward for all of our supporters and our city.
Hey, Coach, your offense played well tonight. Your defense played outstanding, but how about your kicker? Kicked a long one out there tonight. How good does it feel that, hey, if that opportunity comes down the road, say in the playoffs, he proves to you that he can deliver?
He's doing a really good job. He's a first-year football player for us. First year he's kicked. So tonight had an opportunity to kick a 45-yarder and knock that one in at the end. And I think he had I think it was a 32-yarder earlier. I could be wrong, but knocked another one in for us. So just proud of his progress and where he is at this point.
How did y'all get through all this weather that we had this week? The rain and the cold for Monday and Tuesday, and I know you guys were still out here practicing. How'd y'all get through all that?
We really don't talk about the weather. Our guys understand that at Weslaco High School it's near perfect. So Monday was near perfect, Tuesday was near perfect, and tonight we had a great night for football.
All right, Coach. We'll go ahead and let you go.
Thank you.
Get ready for next week. It's going to be packed in here.
Congratulations, Coach.
All right. Once again, Panthers win by a final score of 33-7. Let's bring on a couple of our Who's Ready?
Come on down,
Come on up,
guys.
Coach. Let's bring up a couple of guys who had a big game tonight on the offensive side of the ball. We'll talk to the linemen here in a minute. Let's bring up Jacob and Jeremy to come up on the stage. Have you guys been? I don't know if you guys have been up here yet to talk at all, but Jeremy, it was kind of quiet in the game. The first quarter was a little bit quiet, so you finally had a big play there in the second quarter to break things open and finally get things going for the Panthers. How did it feel tonight to be on the football field?
I mean, it feels great, of course. When being told my season was over, basically, and just coming back and being able to get back out here with my teammates, all we worked on, it feels great.
Hey, Jake, Edinburg did a pretty good job on slowing you guys down that first half. You guys still scored 10 points. However, in the second half, you guys exploded and the big plays started coming in. What adjustments did you guys make?
We started slow. We went into halftime with a positive mindset, made some adjustments, and just told ourselves that we're our worst enemy. So we just started fast and just got going from there and had a spark.
You feel like you're waiting for a spark. I know that this team, Jeremy and Jacob, y'all had outstanding games. You came up with some big plays tonight, but also on special teams, y'all came up with a big play in that third quarter. You were all over the punter there that helped set up another score. It seems like you guys have opportunity. These are on special teams or a big play. That's a sign of a pretty good team. Jeremy, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, sir. Of course, it's a team effort. Everybody putting their one-on-one together, everybody doing their job. It helps set up scores and helps us get into the end zone more often.
Guys, what was it like going up against a unit like Edinburg High, who came in among the best in the district? I mean, you guys have an outstanding defense. Wesco East is right there with you guys too, but Edinburg quietly has a very good defense too. So what was it like going up against that unit?
Edinburg's a great team. They came out hard. We expected them to. They came at us, so obviously we're going to go back at them, and we just came out on top. But they're a great team. We just executed.
Coach Salinas says that it was sunny all week at football practice here today. What was it like for you guys?
Near perfect.
Near perfect weather. All right, so next week, you guys got Weslaco East, and I know you guys aren't the type to talk smack or anything like that, but do you feel like it's going to be a good game?
Just another game for us, 1-0 mentality. It's not any bigger. It's just the next one for us. So we're going to take it one step at a time, and hopefully we're successful next week too.
Okay. All right, guys. We'll let you guys go. We're going to bring in some offensive linemen here in a minute. Congratulations. Good job. Jacob Cavazos, Jeremy Coronel. How a big hand for the fans that are right here in the end zone. We're going to bring up some linemen here now. They can come up on stage. We got Cody Rodriguez, Frederick Salazar, two of the seniors on the football team. How you doing, Cody?
How you doing, guys?
All right, guys. So tell me a little. Y'all kind of got off to a slow start. How did you all stay focused? Because I know there in that first quarter was kind of slow for you guys. How do y'all stay focused there and just waiting for the big play?
Well, it's pretty simple. We went to at the halftime, we went to the locker room and we talked about it and knew we had to make some adjustments. There's a physical Edinburg High football team, so just come out and stay low and hit hard, be physical.
Guys, we were in the pregame show. We were talking about the defensive line. You guys go up against them during practice. I mean, talk a little bit about that. What is it like during practice to go up against that unit that have an outstanding year?
Very intense. They're best D-line in the Valley, hands down. Going against them is so powerful. So if we go against them, we can go against anyone, really.
Does it maybe help you guys out and maybe make you a better unit on the offensive side?
Of course, yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's good to go against those guys every day. They push us to be the best, so we know in practice, Coach Hugh talked to us, and he says, guys, these guys could be the number one defense in the Valley, and they bring it every day in practice, so here in game time, it makes it simple just to get in between the lines and play football.
I know you guys are both seniors, and I know last year you were a little bit disappointed, with the way things transpired, not qualifying for the playoffs. How satisfied are you guys so far to now have a team that looks like it's headed for the playoffs?
It's a great feeling right now.
Very great feeling.
It's hard to put in words, but we worked so hard after that year. We kind of had a chip on our shoulder to come out and play this year, so it's just week at a time and have that 1-0 mentality every week.
And the great thing, guys, is there's still a lot of football left to play. There's still 2 games left, so that means you guys are still alive for a district championship. How do you guys feel about that?
We're going to get it for sure. The team, we're powerful. We struggled a little bit against Vela. We didn't come out as strong as we wanted to, but we got our heads together and we're ready to go at least 4 or 5 rounds deep in the playoffs.
You guys excited about next week playing here at Tanaka Bowl?
It's an awesome crowd. It was kind of like the Vela atmosphere. You know, it's going to be a packed house. The whole city of Weslaco comes out to support us. So we look forward to a good, hard week of work and a physical football game come Friday.
All right. How about a shout out for the offensive linemen out here? 2 of our seniors on the football team here. Thank you very much, guys.
Congratulations, guys.
Rest up.
Good job.
Next week's going to be a fun game. Frederick, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right, we didn't get a chance to go through the highlights, so let's go to these highlights now right here. Weslaco versus Edinburg started off a little bit slow for the Weslaco Panthers, but here we are in the second quarter, and Jeremy Coronado takes this one and gets away from a tackler all the way inside the 5-yard line. Then they give it right back to him on the same drive, and they score to make it 7-0 Coronado. It was 10-0 the Weslaco Panthers leading at the half. A little bit slow until Cavazos gets his hands on the football, going down the field. Nobody touches him. Oh, barely they do. Right at the goal line to score, make it 16-0 Weslacos. So tough on special teams. A fumble recovery. Looked like they went in from the score, no problem. Just throw it right here to Rolando Perones. Goes up high for the score. And the Panthers lead there 23-0. How about another touchdown pass to the other tight end? Isaac Villarreal scores, makes it 30-0 Weslaco, and they win by a final score of 33-7. They started off a little bit slow, Mike, kind of the way it was earlier in the season where the Panthers, but they did go up against a very good football team here tonight in the Edinburg Bobcats.
Yeah, absolutely, Carlos. And what I really liked is it looks like to me that Jeremy Coronado looks like he's 100%. Missed a couple of games to start the year, came back slowly but surely, and he's getting more carries, getting more involved in the offense. And if he can get going, Carlos, he can really help that unit out. That makes the unit that much more dangerous. And now that we have 2 games left to play before the playoffs, I mean, it's perfect timing for them to get going.
Yeah, it seems like he's just getting into his groove right now. He had an injury early on in the season, and you just really saw, like I said earlier, that extra gear that he had, the extra gear also that Jacob Cavazos had. But when you have 2 players like that, whether it's Cavazos or it's Coronado, they can break open the big play at any time in the game, and that's what you saw here tonight.
Yeah, exactly, Carlos. You have 2 guys that are game breakers, and then you add Payne Kanab in the backfield that will give you the hard yardage. It will give you about 5 to 10 carries a game. Then you have Jacob that will give you that big play, and then you have Jeremy. He gets going in the first half, and then after that, you just let the defense take over the game, and then that's Weslaco Panther football right there, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure, where people thought the Panthers were going to be at this point of the season with only 1 loss overall, with only 2 games left in the season. But I think the Weslaco Panthers right now are in very good shape. I think people were surprised early on in the season. They beat Rowe, they beat PSJ North. And they continue to win against Ed Chelsea, but they've really proven here tonight. But that this team, more than likely, I think Coach said that, they qualified for the playoffs, but I think they can maybe even make a deep run into the playoffs no matter what happens in the next 2 games.
Well, absolutely, Carlos. And, we saw that early in the season. We knew that there was potential for them to do well in non-district play, but what impressed me, Carlos, is that they did it in dominant fashion, and it carried into district play. And then they gave Edinburg Vela a tough football game in which was right there until the 4th quarter. And then they bounced back and went on the road to defeat Donna North, and then came back here against a quality, solid Edinburg High football team that had their quarterback back tonight, and really held them to, I don't know how many yards, but to 7 points is pretty good, Carlos. And they scored over 30 again. So, in all phases of the game, the team looks really, really good. Going into next week's Tinaco Bowl, and then the season finale against Edinburg Economides, we'll see where they're going to stand, what seed going into the playoffs. But yes, this is going to be a very dangerous team come playoff time.
They're playing well. I don't think they're peaking. I don't think they're at their very best football right now. I think over the next 2 games, we'll start to see that. When you play against your crosstown rival like you have Weslaco East, you tend to focus a little bit more, and that's what we'll see from the Weslaco Panthers. And then that final home game against Edinburg North, that could have some playoff seeding implications. And then I think the Weslaco Panthers will be going to the playoffs at the right time, playing their best football. And they play against the 32-6A. 32-6A. So you got the Hannas, you got the San Benitos, and you got the Harlingens and the Los Fresnos of the world. So it's going to be a little bit tougher. But like I said earlier, I think that they have a shot of picking up a bi-district championship and, seeing what happens after that.
Yeah, absolutely, Carlos. And if you really think about it, next week's game against Weslaco East, they're going to be designated as the road team, but technically they're playing right here in their own backyard at home. And then after that, you have the home finale against Edinburg North. And then you never know. You never know if they can get that first round game right here in Weslaco. That would be an awesome thing, a big-time plus for the program. Hasn't happened in a couple of years, and so, yeah, a lot of excitement going on. And as you mentioned, they're about to peak at the right time. They're going to get healthier, and, yeah, it's very exciting.
One of the things that we're going to talk about next week, and Mike and I have already been planning for the Tinaco Bowl. It's going to be a defensive battle. It's going to be a game of who can come up with the big play, either on special teams or on offense. But right now you have two of the top defenses in 31-6A, but also in the Rio Grande Valley, Mike.
Absolutely, Carlos. I mean, we've had games in the Tinaco Bowl where it's been for the district championship. We've had bowl units where the offenses were explosive, rack up a lot of points. But for the first time, it may come down to defense. We seriously could have both teams perhaps under 20 points. That remains to be seen. I mean, I'm sure both coaches are going to really look at it in the film to see what can they do, because both of these defenses are outstanding, and I'm looking forward to next week. It's going to be a little different than the other games, I think.
Yeah, Tinaco Bowl, we've had a little bit of everything in the 6-year history. Going to be the 7th year of Tinaco Bowl. Driving rainstorm, playing for district championship. Rivalry heightened to an elevation that, maybe it's too intense.
Right.
So I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be a lot of fun here. Get your tickets. Tickets are already on sale. If you go to, I think it's hstickets.com, you can already get your tickets because it's going to be packed like it was last week against Edinburg Robert Villa. I think we're going to have even more people here at Bobby Lackey Stadium for the crosstown rivalry between Weslaco and Weslaco East.
Yeah, exactly, Carlos. Hopefully, we'll have a crowd like we did against Edinburg Villa, where the whole community was here. It came out to support the Panthers when Weslaco East had a bye. Well, now we're going to have both High and East playing against one another. So that's what we would like to see. We want the whole community to be out here. We're going to have two outstanding football teams, football programs, great coaches, and they're going to be playing for what could be a district championship, perhaps, for sure, a playoff seeding. And, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. The all-time series right now is tied at 3-3, so let's see who's going to take over.
Yeah, it looks like Marco Noriega will be coming back for that game. I know he's been hampered by an ankle injury. Freddie Cardenas, the leading tackler for the Weslaco East Wildcats, on the other side, anchoring the defense. It's going to be a good game. All right, Mike. We'll wrap it up right here. Bobby Lackey Stadium, everybody is gone, but we wanted to talk football because it's that time of the year.
And we love it.
Where every game is so important. The Panthers come up with a victory here tonight on homecoming by a final score of 33-7. For Mike Gonzalez and everybody at KWS, I'm Carlos Robledo. We'll see you next time right here.